everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda and Christian Rodriguez. What's up, yo?
Let's get the show started.
How you doing today?
Doing good, bro. Doing good.
Alright, so we're going to start with the fight that happened last Saturday in Madison Square Garden. Ryan Garcia against Canelo Alvarez against Rocky Fielding. What you guys think?
Obviously, this is like, we already knew this was more of a showcase fight for Canelo. Still, I was disappointed because, when you're fighting a champion, you shouldn't be able to beat him this easily. And, Fielding didn't show like anything really. He didn't even bring a good strategy, which we thought he was going to fight at a distance, use his reach, use his size. He didn't use any of that. So I was disappointed in that. So. Chris, you have anything to add to that?
It's funny. I was actually sleeping.
You missed the
during
fight?
the ring entrances.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody woke me up to watch the fight, and I was pissed off that I woke up.
Damn.
Seriously.
I mean, like, we knew it was gonna, we kind of saw this we saw that, Canelo was not gonna have a whole lot of problems with this, but like...
Okay, you remember when Triple G lost to Canelo?
Mm-hmm.
And then during that week, Canelo gained my respect, right?
Yeah.
And then the announcement came saying that, he was gonna fight against Fielding. And man, there goes my respect.
Right, yeah.
And I said, dude, Canelo should just take the holidays off and just wait till May. And I said it because and now you're hearing a lot of backlash about this fight.
Yeah, that's
Because some shit like this was gonna happen.
I agree. For people that are not like huge fans of like Canelo, that Triple G fight kind of like, he gained some respect from the people that watch boxing like us. And then this one, it's the opponent, because we already know that Canelo's a great fighter. He's a really good fighter, but man, the other guy Fielding had just nothing to offer. Like, Gio, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll let you guys go first because I want to get the hate out the way.
I mean, there's nothing to take away. Canelo's a good fighter, man. He's a great fighter, but
you're right.
It's impressive because you see, no other fighter in the world, anybody would say he's fighting a guy 25 to 30 pounds heavier than him. Fight night, right? And no other fighter in the world, they would be like, oh, this is gonna be a walk.
Bro, that's what you call a punching bag. A punching bag is like 50 pounds heavier than you.
Tell me who else can do that? You think Chocolatito can fight a guy that's 140 and do that to him? Any 140 in the world.
I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
But this guy was like man. He was going up in weight. You would think this Fielding guy had some power. He had no power, bro. Like, nothing. Like, he didn't have, like, no jab, nothing. I mean,
see that? That's the standard. That's the standard that you hold Canelo to, right? You just think he's gonna walk through everybody, and he did. So he did his job.
He did his job. We're not knocking really like Canelo. I think it's just the whole card. It's like should put somebody that. I mean, I feel like I'm more attacking like the Rocky guy, Rocky Fielding.
Yeah.
He should have done like.
That's the thing.
That's it. Like
he is top 10 in his division.
Yeah, but this we're gonna have like a separate conversation with all the separate belts and
you sound like David Faitelson.
Like, for once, I kind of agree with Faitelson. Like, honestly, like, I usually, don't, but he did bring up some good points about, like, the Rocky Fielding. Okay, so he pretty much said that, like, really, this is a champion? This is what, like, if you're a champion, in my opinion, he should, like, at least lasted 6 rounds. At least, but, man, this guy was soft in the midsection. And I'm watching this fight. So I saw this fight at my job. Mm-hmm. I was bartending. I took a 20-minute break.
Right. That's all you needed.
That's all I needed. Like,
the ring entrance was longer than the fight.
Dude, honestly, like, I felt like I had time to spare. Like, but, man, like, it just reminded me what Gio said, like, a few weeks back. He's like, these European fighters cannot fight. And at first I was like, he kind of like being too hard on these guys. Like, they're fighters. Like, they can fight. But like seeing how
no, but he's English though. English fighters are much more. They're like more like brawlers. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get what you mean. But like even a Ricky Hatton, made it. He had that brawler like he made it a
they
fight.
Still can't fight though. British fighters can't fight.
Yeah, they're different from being European fighters.
Yeah.
When I think about European, I think about like like Triple G.
You think of those Eastern?
Middle Eastern or Ukraine and all that, but like, yeah, dude, there's like, and there's not even hate about Canelo. It's just like, I expected this from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that name Fielding, like, who's Fielding?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I felt he should have taken the December off and just like chill down. My thing is like, I'm not sure if this was a good idea for DAZN. For Golden Boy, it's fine because they'll get their like his name with another belt and all that. But for DAZN to debut their A-side fighter on their network and to have like this type of fight, it lasts like not that it lasted 3 rounds, but it didn't even like it wasn't even a fight at all, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't
at all. And I'm not sure like that's how you want to like present.
Well, get used to it because from now on, I told you already, Canelo's fights are all gonna be like this.
I feel like there's gonna be like 1 or 2 tough fights in between, but yeah, most of them.
There's nobody else. All his big challenges, he already fought all the Hall of Famers he could fight. Yeah. There's nobody else left.
Just a rubber match with Triple G, but.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Canelo looked like he knows what he's gonna do to Triple G the next time around. It's gonna be a little bit more convincing.
You know what that reminded me of? You know how last week Anthony said it's too bad like Lomachenko's perfect match doesn't exist in this generation.
Yeah.
Well, that's Canelo's case now. He already fought his toughest fights. Yeah. There's nobody else he can face now that can actually challenge him.
Well, if he's gonna be at 168, there's a lot of fighters. Like, there's a lot of fighters there.
At 168.
Like who's the guy? Smith?
Kalen Smith.
Kalen Smith and Ramirez.
No, Ramirez said he's gonna go up.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's some names there to make it competitive, but
to make it
competitive.
That's what we were talking about.
Every time he beats him like this, people are gonna keep saying the same thing. So it's like
no, but we're talking about being competitive.
Yeah, because I think we kind of agree with your point that we don't see anybody pushing Canelo to his greatness. Yeah, we agree that
Canelo's gonna win all the fights.
Yeah,
because we don't see anybody That's what we bring up Triple G. But we're talking about it being competitive.
At least competitive, yeah. Even Amir Khan freaking lasted longer than this guy. He's like a, what? Welterweight?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, if Amir had a chin, he would beat Crawford. He had a chin, I think, he'd probably win every round against.
Philly didn't had a body, dude.
Yeah. But, again, it's like, I don't think we're really knocking Canelo's greatness. It's just his opposition.
It's just you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Of course. Easy paycheck for Canelo. Easy, what, 30 million?
34, 35.
Yeah, so, like, what were your thoughts on DAZN? Well, you didn't saw the whole thing, right? Like,
I didn't see the whole thing. But, again, DAZN just shows, like, you could watch this fight wherever you are, even if you're at work, like I was. It's just crazy. You know?
Yeah, it was my first time seeing the DAZN at my house. It was pretty cool. I liked the Ryan Garcia fight. That was pretty cool.
You know, I did see some of that. He impressed me.
With the staff from DAZN, they're pretty terrible.
Why? What do you?
Oh, the staff?
I felt like I was watching WWE when the girl came out and with was it the Chris Mannix guy that Anthony was talking about?
Okay, yeah.
I can see why he has beef with him. That guy's...
He's kind of like annoying. Dry? Kind of, I get what you're saying. But like, what?
It's not for boxing, like that.
I'm not sure. Hey, I'm not trying to like. First of all, there's only one fight. There's only one person in DAZN that could do this, and it's about being professional. But did you notice that everybody in DAZN has untied T-shirts, dress shirts? They don't even wear a tie.
They don't wear a tie. They look very relaxed.
Yeah, like a dress shirt, just like that, dude. Like you're on live TV, man. Have some like show. The only person that didn't was Sugar Ray Leonard, which is fine. You can do that's your swag. You can do whatever you want. You know, but Chris Mannix. Who else? Sergio Mora?
No tie?
No tie.
If they're all doing that, I feel like maybe that's what they're trying to, like, you know, it's DAZN, it's digital media, like you're on your phone, like you want to feel relaxed, but nah. No. That's the thing I liked about like HBO. It's like it's an event.
I question.
That's why I mentioned it because, you know, HBO is known for that, for having the great voices of the sport, right? Yeah. And these guys, it's just like I felt like I was watching WWE, dude. Yeah. The only thing that saved it was like Sugar Ray Leonard and Anthony Joshua and commentary. Everything else is just kind of like I put the volume on low. Honestly, I was not trying to hear all the.
And Joshua was giving like insight too into Canelo like during the round, so that was pretty cool. Yeah,
that's the thing. You feel like they didn't have too much insight. They were just like kind of robotic, or
no, they were like. It was like I was watching WWE, dude.
They're really trying to just to like
their
paint
comments and they were trying to like kind of hype it up, but it was it's chill. That's not like for boxing.
Yeah,
I like more serious people. Like even like you guys said, just the clothing itself is just like.
That's one thing I like.
At HBO, they're serious. Here it's just like.
Yeah.
Even the guys with the hats too.
Oh, those guys. What about A Rock and.
Is it the guys who do the little interviews? Or
Yeah.
Even that, I'm like, why are these guys here, dude? I feel. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm watching WWE the whole time. I'm like, why are these guys here?
I saw a video where they brought like Canelo like wardrobe and stuff. Do you guys see that? They brought like a clothing line.
I didn't saw it, but I know what you mean.
Like I like the behind the scenes, but I was like, who the heck brings like clothes out? Like, sit down with them, talk to him. Like, I don't know. That was just Yeah,
like when I'm watching DAZN, I don't feel like I'm watching a boxing show because they're not boxing people. It feels like they're just
there you go. I think that's
grab random personalities that may be able to speak well, but they're not saying shit, dude. Honestly, the whole time.
No, I agree.
That's where you miss those Emmanuel Stewarts, those Jim Langley, like substance type voices. I get it.
But that's what made HBO special, dude. They got the right team like together. Everybody kind of complimented each other. You know. Yeah, that's what I felt too.
So, who do you think Canelo should fight next then?
Who do I think he should? Okay.
But what is his options?
His options? Top 3. Obviously, there were a rematch with Triple G. There's Jacobs. That would be a competitive fight.
Yeah, it'll be competitive.
Not sure.
A couple rounds.
Yeah.
We're talking about that too, right?
Be competitive.
I was telling you, if I see you get knocked out, you're not even in my conversation, dude. Like Daniel Jacobs is like.
I think
it's gonna happen all over again, dude.
Well, I think he's grown, he's matured in his game and his approach. So if he gets knocked out, I see him like getting knocked out. In,
if he would have actually respected the weight against Triple G, he would have got taken out.
Yeah, that's true. But I see Jacobs and what's the third one? Maybe one of the Charlo. Or the Charlo, the one that fights in the middleweight division.
I would rather see Charlo. Honestly.
You rather see Charlo?
But it's not gonna happen. I just want
another knockout.
I know. I just want to get out of the way.
And you know that
I want to see if
that's
you're
what I'm
good.
saying.
If you're good, then all right.
That's what I'm saying. He's just gonna keep knocking these guys out, and people are gonna say, "Oh, well, he's not fighting anybody." You know what's funny? Chicano Boxing posted like that meme that said, after the fight, like, "Oh, that still doesn't erase the fact that Canelo's ducking Deontay Wilder, all these heavyweights."
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like some people have that mentality. It's just like, dude, he can only fight whoever's out there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be okay. So I'll bring this up on the next time, but this is something I observed. Who do you think has more power over Canelo, Golden Boy or DAZN?
Or DAZN? Who has more power?
Yeah, because I saw something really interesting. There was an interview with Oscar De La Hoya. I should pull it up, but it was on some radio station, and he was talking about the beginnings of when he understood that HBO was going to be leaving.
Oh,
that he needed to find like some sort of platform.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, he wasn't even thinking about DAZN.
He was thinking of his own, right?
Yes, he was thinking about Ring TV.
It's like Ring magazine trying to go digital. Like they have like
his own platform. And the thing that scared him was the fact that he was going to give Canelo $30 million up front.
Yeah, he has to come up with that money.
Yeah,
money that either like the broadcasters or advertisement used to pay.
Yeah, now that DAZN comes in,
they pay the bill.
Here, boom, they pay the bill. So at one end, does DAZN say, okay, we're paying the bill, but now it's time.
Now they can use them however way they want.
What type of power moves do they have?
Like,
and the thing is, even there was commercials. Did you notice that? For DAZN? Yeah, there was commercials in DAZN. During the beginnings of the.
Oh yeah, they're gonna like squeeze Canelo.
I think they have a power over that, but not the fights.
I think they do.
I think they have.
Seems like they don't know what the fuck.
Like, no, I think they do have.
I think they have some. Fights. I think they can add pressure to Golden Boy and be like, "Hey, the other fight was a little, quick. We kind of want to we can't be having those kinds of fights all the time. You know, he needs to get some rounds in. So
yeah,
I guess they can put some. Well, they will definitely put some pressure on Golden Boy.
I think something's gonna happen eventually.
What do you mean?
With DAZN and Canelo, as far as like matchmaking, it's gonna happen. I think. Okay, it's nice to get out of the way. This first fight.
This is the appetizer. Yeah.
Now it's time to get serious. Yeah. Like this shouldn't. It can't be like this.
Yeah, people don't want little appetizers forever.
There's no opponents. We were just talking about this.
No.
Competitive.
Competitive, at least. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not saying anybody's gonna beat Canelo anytime soon. All his fights are gonna be
competitive for a couple rounds, and after that, he's just gonna tear everybody apart.
If he finds,
it's Lomachenko, dude.
But the thing is, even after we were done talking Triple G and Canelo, we're talking about the opponents. Who's next?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near. No, like nobody. I never knew who Fielding was in my life. I never heard. And I watched boxing. I never heard of him in my life, dude.
Well, he's British. His first fight in the States.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was his first fight ever, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But I don't know.
But you know, that's what people are gonna say about Jacobs. That's what people are gonna say about Andrade.
No, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that.
Not about Andre. Andre's pretty. Andre would be my third choice.
Andrade, Canelo's gonna smoke him, dude.
You think so?
Hell
I mean, I know he's gonna beat him, but like,
dude, Canelo's gonna kill him in 2 rounds, dude. I'm sorry.
2 rounds, really?
Yeah.
You know, I do give Canelo credit because they were talking about you could still see like the scars from the Triple G fight.
Dude, his sparring, that was from sparring. Dude, his sparring was probably much more intense.
Yeah, than this fight.
But he said it was from the Triple G fight, and he said the doctor gave him clearance, so that's why he was fighting. And then also he had a knee brace on his knees. So.
Yeah, I know.
Canelo?
Yeah.
And that was because he
I was
had.
like, damn.
Yeah.
So, no breaks.
Should have taken the holidays off.
He should have taken the holidays. Yeah. Hopefully he's all good though.
It's easy money though.
Yeah.
You sell out the MSG.
He has to get out there.
And basically you close out the year for boxing because for mainstream boxing, like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Charlo's is Saturday.
I don't even want to say their names because you remember when we were talking about Lara, how he got the Canelo fight just based off talking.
Mm-hmm.
This same shit, but even worse because these fools haven't fought anybody. At least Lara, like he was building his resume, you know.
Yeah.
He had fought like Paul Williams and.
Honestly, I would like to see him fight.
I would like to see the Charlo's like, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see. I just get out of the way. I would like to see him.
Yeah,
I don't care how it is.
I just want to see how good they are.
Yeah, I just want to see it.
You know, but the way I see it is everyone wants. You know how everyone wanted that Floyd Mayweather check.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same thing with Canelo. Like you know you're not gonna beat him, but you just want that check.
Mm.
Even like Jacobs after the fight, like you know on cameras like he talks all this shit, and then when he was in the ring he was all respectful and shit. He's like shaking Canelo's hand.
Well, I mean,
I understand they gotta do what they gotta do to try to get these fights.
But I think
at the end of the day, it's,
well,
I think better for me.
I think it'll be sad if if it's not Triple G and May.
Mm.
But if it's not
Triple G retired, dude. Canelo just took his heart, dude.
Nah, not yet. If it's not Triple G and May, it has to be Daniel Jacobs. But if it's not Daniel Jacobs, man, that's terrible for Eddie Hearn. Because this is the first boxing promoter that gave in to DAZN.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that say? The fact, you would think that these two promoters who are signed with the same network are able to make business with one another. There shouldn't be no politics between that. Well, if it doesn't happen, that tells you that same shit.
Charlo's are under who again? Promoter?
Charlo? They're under, I'm not sure who, but see, the PBC fighters are weird, dude. I mean, they're advised by Al Heyman, but they're not like, they're still a different.
Caught watch when they do some funky shit. Al Heyman.
And at this point, not
they're
necessarily.
They're advised by Al Heyman.
Yeah, they're advised by, but they could be promoted by different promoters. It could be like by Richard Schaefer.
So they don't have
So
they don't have like a concrete promoter.
No, it could be different.
That's where Al Heyman uses other people to quote unquote promote the fights. So
yeah, just like
he doesn't get in trouble.
Well, I mean, he used Oscar for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
For all this golden, Victor Ortiz versus Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Mayweather used Oscar too.
When
TMT, it wasn't even shit because it was really Oscar promoting all the shows.
Yeah, and I don't know what else to talk about with Canelo, but the thing is how people are gonna take DAZN with them in this first fight. If they're gonna keep on continuing doing DAZN.
Yeah.
Next one after another.
So we always think like people are gonna like, they say they're gonna subscribe because it's Canelo. You know, like most of my friends, you know, that just they're casual boxing fans. They did subscribe to DAZN because they messaged me. They're like, "Oh, where's the Canelo fight? I heard it's gonna be in an app." I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the app."
Yeah.
And then they subscribed. And then I heard on Los Golpes that what's his name? He said like, "Oh, a lot of people subscribe, but they unsubscribe." And I actually messaged like my cousin and a couple of my friends, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
They subscribe and then they unsubscribe.
Smart.
So they got this. Thing is that DAZN is, you know, they're hoping for people to stay on.
Well, it's gonna take a while for it to catch up, dude.
Yeah.
If you just have, you have Canelo and Anthony Joshua, but other than that, it's kind of like, eh.
Yeah. So yeah, they need a big fight next for Canelo, for sure, for it to catch on. But what do you think, Chris? You think they're gonna make their money?
I'll talk about it for sure next week. But I think I'm interested to see how the zone's gonna react with if they're gonna make a power play, trying to be able to like decide who can fight next. Because honestly, I think they let Golden Boy do whatever he wanted on this one, for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about the Ryan Garcia fight though. You guys watch it?
I was actually impressed with him. He made some.
Yeah, his opponent was a character.
Yeah. he was the unorthodox, trying to make it a fight, but obviously
he was trying to taunt Ryan for anything that he did. It was funny, and then he was throwing a lot of low blows too. I think he got a point taken away from him. So it was an awkward fight for Ryan, but I think he did well.
Yeah.
He showed maturity. I'll give him that.
He looked very sound, very calm, but at the same time, he was ready to kill, like get him out of there. Like
he took his time.
Yeah,
I like that. He didn't get wild.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how high do you think Lomachenko is going to be able to go in weight class?
How tall is he? He's 5.
He's at 135.
I think he's already reaching, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you see the fight against Linares. That was a tough fight, physically.
So you don't see him going to 140?
I feel like that's
You're going to have to go Canelo and fight like a rated 10 guy or something, because that's the danger zone.
That is danger zone.
Alright, so how many years do you give Lomachenko?
He's like, what, 30? He's in his 30s?
30.
He's like 30-ish. Well,
how many years do you give him? Like 5?
when I see a fighter that depends on their legs, you gotta kind of like see, you know, like when do those legs start to give out. Usually that's like the mid-30s. So I see him like, again, he's like naturally gifted, so he's gonna have a bunch of other tools. But like 34, 35, that's when like he's gonna be in danger zone to really get like, you know, I see that stage. And so you don't want to see a great fighter go out.
I said 34. Just because there's not gonna be any fights, like worthy fights for him. I think. Unless he fights like a young up and comer guy like Ryan.
That's what I'm gonna talk about, because that's what Ryan.
But I don't think Lomachenko's that dumb or that his ego, because it seems like him and his dad have a good relationship. You know, they know what they're doing. So I don't think his dad would just like let him fight a young guy at a high weight, and when he's getting older too.
Yeah, because he said that he wants to be winning the championship in that division at 135.
135.
So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a long time if you want to get that belt.
Yeah, like if there's one fighter that I would see him having trouble down the line, is Teofimo, because that guy is like hungry. He looks dangerous. Not like right now, but when Lomachenko was like getting up there in age. But I see Lomachenko, you know, kind of fighting late just because he fought in the amateurs for so long. You know, he just barely getting the taste of the professional game like a couple years ago. So I feel like he's gonna want to.
But that's the thing, Lomachenko, he can stay long in the game, dude, because he relies on his feet. I'll make the argument against you, because I think if you, even like basketball players too, they stay in the game depending on their footwork. Jordan, Kobe. And like I think that's what's the same case with Lomachenko. He's gonna be able to last because he doesn't have to rely that much with his hands that much. It's just pure like footwork. Yeah, but
what I'm saying is like his. Once you get up there in age, you're gonna slow down. Like your legs are gonna start slowing down.
But look at Mayweather.
Okay, Mayweather's a machine, bro. Like he has slowed down, but he just, like I said, he has so many tools. Lomachenko's gonna have so many other tools.
I feel like Lomachenko, like I don't think his career is gonna last very long because since fight 2, he was already fighting for the championship, or fight 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been fighting nothing but champions. I feel like that's more of his concern, like fighting the top fights as opposed to fighting a bunch of fights, right?
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Lomachenko's about.
Mm-hmm.
Pure quality.
Yeah.
And it's been either championship or championship, basically.
Yeah. He's testing himself
So
with the best available ones that are out there.
If we ever get a chance to interview him, that's a question.
How long he was. Yeah.
But not him. His trainer. Because he'll listen more to his trainer.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Yeah. I feel like once he had like the biggest challenges, like, you know, like if he does get those Mikey fights, if he does get,
he will get those fights.
I think after that you're just like, what else do I got to prove?
So I read something and I wanted to make sure I had to look it up. And it's funny because I brought up, we were talking about Ryan Garcia, but then we don't talk about Lomachenko. But Bob Arum was being interviewed by Ring Magazine, and they were talking about what's the future plans for Terence Crawford and Lomachenko, and they wanted to do 2 pay-per-views for Terence Crawford this upcoming year, and 1 pay-per-view for Lomachenko, and one of the pay-per-views that they want to aim for is against Miguel Berchelt.
That'd be a good one. So Loma versus Berchelt?
Yeah, Berchelt.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
So.
So yeah, I think Ryan said he
that's
was gonna stay at that weight or go up. But he said he can't.
I don't
He
think.
can't go lighter.
Yeah, he cannot go lighter.
He's pretty tall, actually.
He is tall, dude.
And same thing too, but we'll talk about him too. But
Chisora,
Ramirez,
yeah.
You think Ramirez can be at 168, dude? This fool is like so big, dude.
Dude, like when I saw him at the gym,
He looks skinny, huh?
he was hella skinny, and he was barely making weight. So I'm like, yeah, like, goddamn.
He's like one of those guys who's just like kind of heavy naturally, like heavy bones, heavy muscles.
Which
he doesn't even look that.
Yeah.
And this brings up David Lemieux, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he didn't make weight, dude. You know why? Because it looked and it sounded like that was his next opponent, Canelo, for me. A lot of people were talking about that. That's why he was in the co-main event.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you already. I mean, obviously his like handlers already know he's having trouble making 160. He's gonna go to
He's gonna be at 168 now.
168, a little bit more comfortable. That's where Canelo's at. That's where that regular title's at. So that's still a possibility.
You know, talking about Canelo, like, what are the type of guys who can beat him, right? Probably a guy who has a great chin and good power, right? But that was supposed to be Triple G, and it still didn't happen. So I don't know. It's gonna have to be somebody like Mayweather, which I mean, obviously that doesn't exist. So I mean. But that would have been a good opportunity for Lemieux.
But the thing is with Canelo is like he can pick whatever weight he wants.
Yeah, from 168 to 160.
It doesn't have to be at 160. It could be catch weight too.
A good fight. I think a good fight would have been Billy Joe, but this guy messed it up. He fucked it
He's
up.
fighting this Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to how he does. Because I saw an interview. You saw the interview? He was thinking Tyson Fury. Yeah, he was in an interview. He did his own interview through the phone. He was thinking about Tyson Fury for. It's like he's motivated now. He encouraged him now. He's been talking to him, so hopefully that reaches to him this Saturday.
Hopefully, man, because I see Billy Joe as an immature adult. Like he can get like he should be able to like I think he's really talented. He's just very immature, and he's got that fight with Canelo in front of him. Like it's a possibility, and get your shit together, man. And
what's there for if he wants to go like in Europe, in England, and branch out over there. But it seems like they're trying to aim for. So they have the T-Mobile Arena set for May. For May, yeah. And for September, they're aiming for in Mexico. Did you hear about this?
Azteca? Yeah. The thing is, I think you really need a good, credible opponent to sell out the Azteca.
I don't know.
Triple G.
I don't know because
he's not
they're gonna go regardless of people. Because when is he gonna fight in Mexico again?
Yeah, but like to fill up the Azteca, he's not as loved as Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
It's not to fill up the Azteca. Just to fill out those subscriptions.
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know. Subscriptions. That's why I don't like it. Just like ESPN Plus, like. You're not gonna get many subscribers from boxing, honestly.
The thing is that DAZN is like they need those subscribers. They need that money.
Even like from other sports, most people are not gonna subscribe to ESPN Plus. Dude, you can get a free trial every month and watch it for a whole year.
See, and I don't want to talk about it, but I'll bring it up next week.
Bring it up now.
But this all makes sense. This is why pay-per-view is better than subscription. Because
this is a one-time fee.
Exactly.
It's like a
one and done. Subscriptions have never worked, other than Netflix. But
as a promoter,
Netflix, they just overload you with all these movies and.
That's because DAZN is trying to be the Netflix of sports.
But no other subscriptions are.
But that's the thing.
Successful like that.
As a promoter, you get the money like right there, all because of the pay-per-view coming in the next week, right? But the thing is, you have to wait for subscription to build on the pay. You know, that's the thing with. That's how Canelo's contract is going to be paid off because of all the subscriptions. So. Yeah, I can see a lot of red flags already now that I'm looking at it like that.
Well, he's set, dude.
Yeah, he's set. He's set.
He's a guarantee.
That's a good thing about him. Like, pay-per-views, he doesn't have to worry about it. Even opponents, like, it doesn't matter because it's not really his job anymore. It's up to the DAZN to actually try to bring people in.
And now bring a little preview too. This is why I mentioned who has more power. Golden Boy or DAZN, right?
Because DAZN can be like, I need to make my money back. I need a credible opponent. I need subscribers to subscribe.
They're gonna find somebody, Gio. It's not gonna be somebody that's he's gonna beat up Canelo. It's just gonna be somebody. Okay, finally we get to see him. But you know that fight against Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather didn't happen because of Les Moonves. He used to be the CBS like main person. He's under like sexual assault investigation now. He stepped down now, but he's the biggest person who made the fight. He said, you know what, Mayweather, you're on contract. We got to make this fight because his contract was expiring already. So if it wasn't for him making that power move to tell Mayweather, the biggest fighter of all time in the network, he made that fight. So I think that's what's gonna end up happening with DAZN, with Canelo. They're gonna try to find somebody to make that money finally, some way. But it's different. Because Mayweather was pay-per-view, but this case is subscription. So, I don't know. It's interesting, man. Looking at it. But good luck to them, though. Because you already saw my phone. I don't have their subscription anymore. Until January 13th.
Yeah. The thing with DAZN is, like, they do have deep pockets because of all the money that's coming into other sports, but they're here to make a profit. So that's where the subscriptions... They're trying to, like, not just, like... you know, paying, but they're trying to make a profit. So, like, that's where they really need the subscriptions. Because I think they do have enough money to pay them. Money coming from other areas.
But at some point, you're losing money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like...
Obviously, you get the name out there, but, like...
They do have two, and we're going to get into our top pound for pound list, but they do have two guys.
Yeah.
Who are up there.
Who were only for 4 months. For 4 months out of the 12 months.
So Canelo got a
three
deal. Did Joshua get it?
Two guys besides Canelo.
Okay.
Does Joshua have a deal?
See, this is the reason why I should have brought it up last week. I'm telling you, I had notes. Joshua doesn't have to be in DAZN.
That's right. Yeah, right. So how did they acquire him, and for how long? Is it just like...
It's some fighters are signed with Matchroom Boxing, right? But some fighters are signed with DAZN.
So he's kind of like rented?
So there's a huge difference between Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy. When Canelo signed with DAZN,
exclusive.
It was not just exclusive, but it was Golden Boy. The whole stable went into DAZN.
And so with
Eddie Hearn, it's different. That's why if, let's say, Anthony Sims would have fought this Saturday, he would have been in Showtime.
Gotcha. Okay.
Shout out to Anthony Sims, man.
He's out in Indianapolis with his family.
Somewhere.
Making a wise choice.
During the holidays, you know. But yeah, also Tevin Farmer fought.
Tevin Farmer.
He looked good. He didn't get a knockout, but
before we get into this fight,
he won like every round.
Did you saw his dress code?
That's the thing that, like, I saw like some glimpses and I saw like again another colorful outfit.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to this shit.
distract them, like, dude, what?
To me,
what
it's
are you
just
doing?
catchy. Like, it's just like, oh, he's another outfit,
I don't think he was impressive though.
another Familia
Farmer?
Paluche outfit.
Sound like a casual. I look at the fighters fighting.
Obviously,
not
like,
fucking,
well, I was just like
not their legs.
No, I'm
glimpsing
just
through
saying,
it.
like, what is going on with
Mm.
this? Like, dude, like, come on, man. Like,
It's winter season.
I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, I pay attention to like the no ties and all that, just everything. But
It's a sweet science song.
I don't know anything about Terran Farmer with that fight. Like, there's nothing I could take away.
Yeah.
In fact, Davis did
Fonseca?
he beat him already? Fonseca? I don't know. But what you took anything away from Terran Farmer?
Yeah, he looked good. He needed to impress more, but I mean, he won like almost every round, so that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, did you saw the woman fight?
No.
The Katie Taylor?
That sounds bad, dude. I never watched his video
Oh,
fights.
dude.
I think that's the one fight I didn't watch.
How was that
You
one?
have to
I
watch that
I seen
fight.
the last fight. I didn't see this one.
Dude,
I've seen
I'm
clips.
hoping I'm saying her name right.
Katie
Hold
Taylor,
on.
yeah.
Because I gotta put
The Irish
respect
chick?
on her name.
I know she. Well, she dominated Serrano last time. So how was this
Oh,
fight?
I have it. I have it in her. And I have it in the phone.
Yeah, the fight.
No, not
Oh.
the fight. I have her name. Katie Taylor, 135
Yeah.
from Ireland. She's now 12-0. Dude, she's a monster, dude.
I'm telling you, I want to see the
Dude,
fight.
you have to look her up, dude.
I want to see the fight between her and
She is sick, dude.
and the other Serrano sister, the one that like does MMA too.
She doesn't mess around, dude. I'm hyped. for
How
her.
did she win by? What?
Well, she knocked. Technical knockout, yeah. Dude, she get boxed. I'm telling you, dude. This next year is gonna be a big year for women's boxing.
Hopefully, I need a reason to watch
It
these
is.
fights.
It is, dude. It
You
is.
need to put Canelo and her like in a
Dude,
co-main
Clarissa
event
Shields,
in
dude.
Dublin.
Dude, Clarissa Shields, she's bad, dude. You have to watch her fight. Yeah.
Shout out to Clarissa Shields. She's in our outro, so shout out to her.
Yeah, but
Actually, she's gonna be in our next little video too.
Okay.
You guys will see it. I'll release it tomorrow. But, yeah, other than that, Ryan Garcia did well. We'll see what's next for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a good team so far with Team Canelo.
Yeah. On Ryan Garcia, something I noticed is I saw a lot of talk between the 130 pounders. When I say 130 pounders, I'm talking about like the contenders, the ones that are hungry, the ones that don't have that big name, but they're some of these guys are veterans. Some of these guys are just haven't had the exposure, but they're good. Some of them probably better than Ryan right now, just because they have more experience, better opposition up until now, and all of them are saying like, oh, everybody's hungry for him, like just to
Ryan?
to expose him,
Yeah.
But I'm like, y'all gotta be careful because he's on the A side. They're gonna match him when he's ready.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's with the top A team trainers. Like he's just gonna keep getting better and better and better. And he's gonna
He
fight.
can fight, dude.
Yeah, he can fight.
fucking
And he's
fight.
gonna fight you guys on his terms when he's ready. Like all the advantages are going to him. So, man, like everybody out there is like licking their chops, but y'all gotta work twice as hard because he's got the better team, the better trainers, the better sparring. So,
And, I like when the Mexican fighters go to the East Coast and get some exposure. Like Mikey did it. He fought at the Barclays against Adrian Boner, I think.
yeah.
And then, Ryan got a good reception at MSG.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
You know how we normally talk about like the stands being empty,
Yeah.
like on those
Yeah.
undercard fights, but he got a good
No,
reception when he
in
came
fact,
out.
It was pretty
crowded.
loud. Yeah.
It was crowded before all that.
Like something I was gonna bring up, like they got loud for him. Like, and this was the fourth or
Third.
fifth fight up until the main event.
Yeah.
And it was loud, like if it was like kind of like a co-main event-ish, So yeah, he's loved,
Yeah.
and they make him hurt.
But honestly though, Brian Garcia and Katie Taylor, they impressed me.
Yeah.
Out of all everything. Yeah.
He did a lot of improvement from his last fight to this one. Obviously opposition, but like it's just the way he cleaned up his game.
To me, it wasn't about his boxing skills. It was about not him feeding off the energy from
His
the other
attitude.
fighter.
Mm.
That's what I was impressed with. Okay, at one point you're gonna start slugging like Deontay Wilder, just start swinging at him. No, he wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you take low blows, dude, the natural reaction is for you to
Yep.
just get pissed and come out and
Yep.
try to knock him out, But he just kind of shook his head and was like, okay, like.
Because like those, that's a veteran tactic. You hit him like
And the thing,
Trying to get you mad, trying to get you open up.
And you know, he didn't even actually complain with those low
Didn't.
blows. It was just like the ref catching him.
That's the thing I was gonna say, because what did you just say about Ryan Garcia? Everything's under his terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
The referee will be under his terms too.
You're gonna have like those calls.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we.
He doesn't have to point it out. It's gonna be pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see what he fights.
Probably has another star there, dude.
Yeah, they do.
When Canelo's gone, he's probably gonna be the one to take over. And we'll see, dude. 140, 147. We'll see who's out there.
I'm just saying, like,
I got a fighter.
I'm just saying he's.
I got a fighter for Ryan, and they're both the same.
He better be young.
No, they're both the same age, dude.
Yeah.
Tupac.
Stevenson.
What's he fighting? He's fighting.
I can see that.
They're at same. They're right there, dude. Yeah, they're right there.
Let that marinate. Let that marinate well.
Yeah. Okay, that one.
Oscar,
like when it's 25.
Yes, that's gonna be the next big fight, dude.
When it's
5 or 7 years from now, dude.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna see a rematch. Then we're gonna see a trilogy.
Obviously, Stevenson needs to start
kicking
kicking it with.
On Saturday, I'm like, who's this fool gonna fight in the future?
But it's
be
good
good.
when people start talking about it early, because that's how you really marinate fights. Like, they talk about Mayweather Pacquiao for like 10 years, dude, until it finally happened. You know?
That was too much marinating. That shit, like that overburnt.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, in the ring, yeah, but outside, shit, they made the most money they could make.
No, like money wise.
Yeah, let me.
That was always gonna make money.
Let me look at them right now.
But this one, like if you let it marinate right, keep them winning. It's like you're teasing people, but like until they meet at their prime, that would be, you know.
Yeah.
Stevenson gotta start kicking it with AB though, for sure.
He needs to get more with his manager, Andre Ward.
That's all I got from the zone. I don't know if you guys get anything else.
Katie Taylor, and that I unsubscribe and yeah,
because they're not gonna have a good fight for a while probably. The zone.
At the end of the day, Golden Boy and Oscar Lloyd robbed the zone this December. They got a big Christmas gift.
Yep. What was that? 10 million a round?
You know what was the crazy thing about it was all body shots, dude.
Yeah.
He wasn't even thrown to the head.
Saw that coming, man.
Every knockdown was a body shot.
I don't want to be fucked up, but I literally saw like a heavy bag.
Do you know what I was thinking about doing in this podcast? I was thinking about just doing the whole podcast when kneeling down, dude.
Like crisscross style?
No, like you're fielding. I was thinking just fielding.
You know what's crazy? After the first knockdown, like he knew it was over. He looked around. He's just like, fuck, I'm gonna just get up just because I have to. But like,
he didn't want to get up, man.
He just, every time he got knocked down, he looked like at his corner. He looked around. He just kind of smiled. He's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, I know. Like, why are you smiling, man?
Yeah. I'm like, this guy not have wheels to like. Y'all getting hit in the body, like keep him away from you, man. Like,
there's a number of things.
He didn't even get I was telling you, he didn't even get a post-fight interview in the ring.
Like,
you're like, for what? Well, I'm just like, well, that's kind of standard. Like, even if you lose, they still give you an interview. With this guy, they asked Canelo like 10 questions, and then this guy, he just laughed. Like,
they were probably pissed at him, like, man, you didn't give us nothing, man. Like, I get what you mean, yeah, standard. Give him like, what happened?
I was showing you the press conference. He was all awkward and shit. Like, he didn't even know what to do.
Trust me.
To me, like, if I know I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna act like I'm gonna be in there to win. Like, this guy, like, came in like with the like he was gonna lose and shit.
But he actually tried to fight for a little bit. Like, he started throwing punches back, and then once that body shot landed, he's just like,
the thing
fuck
is, there was no power in his punches, dude.
Yeah, he had no power, bro. Like, I would have at least assumed he'd had some power at being the bigger guy.
That was the thing. I was talking to someone who doesn't watch a lot of boxing, and he was like, I better see a fucking knockout. I'm like, well, it's probably gonna happen because fielding, like, he was actually moving down in weight, right? Didn't he fight at a higher weight?
He was like 175 for a minute, yeah.
And then, like, he moved down, and then on the weigh-in, he just looked drained, dude. I was like...
Yeah, in the weigh-in, he looked very skinny, but... Rehydrate, man. I don't know.
Dude, Daniel Jacobs and say, fuck the weight, dude.
Yeah. No.
Man, for real.
By all means, do whatever you want.
He knew he was coming for a paycheck. He knew he, like...
Building?
Yeah. He knew
I was coming for Christmas, dude.
First time in New York.
First time in New York.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk a lot about what happened the past couple of weeks, because we had Anthony Sims Jr. on our podcast last week. Check it out if you haven't. But the Pedraza against Lomachenko fight, and then also the Zurdo Ramirez fight against, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And Jesse Hart.
Yeah, there you go, Jesse Hart in the rematch.
Yeah.
You guys watch it? What do you guys think? We watched it together.
Which one you want to talk about?
Zurdo Ramirez, because that one happened Friday first.
You remember when you were telling me that you were going to interview him?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you about, you were telling me what question should I
yeah.
And I told you, ask him if he's looking forward to moving up weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now it looks like he's
like it is, yeah.
And remember, during the Thanksgiving, I'm telling you, sometimes I say shit that happens back, and now it's coming forward now.
Mm-hmm.
During the Thanksgiving, when I said, oh, the 175 division, dude, that one's like getting popular. It's like this little tournament right now. Oh, now Ramirez is in it too. Now Ramirez is in it. And speaking at 175, dude, so like, if you look at Ramirez, he has a chance to fight Kovalev. He has a chance to fight Alvarez, because they're all with top rank.
175, yeah.
And ESPN. So Ramirez is going to get his fights, because he wasn't able to smoke anybody at 168 because of politics.
Mm-hmm.
But Ramirez, he's game, but the thing is, his best fights has been during sparring. Because during sparring, he's been able to fight against Benavidez.
Yeah.
You've seen him, right?
I've seen him spar a little bit.
About that, though.
I've seen him spar.
Give you an interview.
What can you take from his sparring?
He seemed dominant
in
his sparring. Like a lot of his opponents haven't been able to, give him the rounds that he needs. And like I told you guys, there's been times where his trainers like, come on, give us more rounds. Like we need more rounds. We need these rounds. People just can't handle really his pressure. He's in great shape. But obviously he's struggling to make that weight, and so he's moving up to 175. My question is, are those guys too big for him?
Well, he needs to.
Because he's not a guy with a lot of power.
Yeah.
Say.
He's a tall guy, but he's not. He's not like big like those guys.
Yeah, because it's not that they're 175; they're like at 185 or 190. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be facing the biggest challenges at 175, obviously. And he was able to get away with 168 because that was not his actually science.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing now. If I do talk to him, I'll be hard on him, honestly, in Spanish.
What are you gonna ask him?
I just tell him, like, how many fights is it going to take him to be able to finally get a Kovalev fight or Alvarez? Because obviously he's going to go from 168 and fight you saw when Andre Ward came back, it took him 2 fights before he got into Kovalev.
Yeah.
And that's Andre Ward thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to eventually I'm gonna be at 175, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I need to take my time before I beat that monster and confront him. How many fights is it gonna take for Ramirez to get in that? And
I'm gonna say more than Ward for sure.
I think honestly, this season for him is to get comfortable at 175.
Yeah. Don't
take any challenges. And
for
the
sure
guy's
not.
young.
Yeah.
Ramirez is young.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he? I think
he's like 27, 28.
Yeah, he's a lot of fights too. He's like 42, 43.
Yeah,
he's 27, 28.
And I like him because I've seen a lot of fights from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this fight with Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart started fighting good in the first round, the opening round. I was like, whoa, crap! And then you see Ramirez start putting on that pressure, and just gave Hart a lot of problems.
He's gonna be 28 next year.
Yeah.
So he's young. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, you know what?
He's on his birdie in his prime.
He's in his prime right now. Yeah.
But I was impressed that he looked pretty good, in shape. Because I know you've seen him in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
He's training here out in the gym in Long Beach. So I thought he was gonna gas out. By what you've told me. So, but he stayed in it, dude. He kind of out-hustled the Hart.
Yeah. I was impressed. And then he also had that injury with his.
Oh yeah, his
hand.
elbow or something. I think it was his elbow.
And so this year he fought 3 times. One in February, one in June, and December. His past 2 fights, he's in fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So his past 6 fights, he's been all 12 rounds except 1. So he's been able to last.
Yeah.
So yeah, another guy.
So that's Zurdo Ramirez. Lomachenko Pedraza. You guys see that one?
So yeah, we were at HBO. But we saw some of the highlights afterwards.
In fact, I haven't even seen the whole fight, but I gotta watch it. But what were your take on it?
Well, Pedraza was a respectable opponent. First
Yeah.
of all, he stayed in there. You know, a lot of guys once they step into the ring, they look beaten already.
Like Fielding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, he was fighting, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He won some rounds. He won like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
And I think part of it too was Lomachenko. He looked a little timid, throwing that injured hand.
That's what I was gonna say. Did he look good, Pedraza, in the beginning, or towards the end, or towards the middle? Like,
He looked good overall. He never gave up.
I just saw like the post reaction, and his face was kind of clean. Pedraza's, Lomachenko looked a little touched up. I was surprised at
the
that.
eyebrows,
And
man.
once again, he's fighting bigger guys too.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting bigger guys, so that's the thing. Like, you can tell his power is not there at 135 or 135, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't throwing that right a lot. Like, he wasn't throwing with power. He was just using it as a setup punch. So,
Mm-hmm.
but he did knock him down 11th. And
Yeah.
he almost finished him off, but he survived. But he was a tough guy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Pedraza.
He got saved by the bell, no?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I heard a lot of people say, a lot of the boxing pundits say that was like the best version of Pedraza they've seen.
Yeah.
So every time you're in a fight against like a Lomachenko stuff, you're working hard, like the hardest you've ever worked
Yeah.
in the gym for those kinds of fights.
Everyone after the fight was saying, you know, they were impressed with Pedraza.
Yeah.
And he fought against, who was it? Davis, right? Did he fight Davis?
Yeah, I think got knocked out by
Yeah, and
Davis.
they're trying to, you know, ask him
Yeah.
questions, little clickbait questions, who's better, Gervonta or Loma? Of course he's going to say Lomachenko.
No, no. You can't have that even as a question. Even as a reporter, I would have probably questioned a dude. Trust me, it's gonna happen, dude. If I'm with reporters and I hear a stupid question like that, I'm gonna question a reporter. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is different, dude. This is.
What are you gonna ask him?
Well, you already know who I'm talking about already.
That reminds me of some one reporter. He was kind of annoying Oscar because he's like, oh, he was kind of like basically downplaying this fight and saying, oh, when is he gonna fight someone? Like, in other words, right? And then Oscar just looks at him and was like, wait, when hasn't he fought like his biggest challenge? Like, dude. And just put his like stupid reporters. Like,
Yeah,
just like, dude, just shut up. Do your job, man.
Dude,
Just-
I'm telling you, dude. Don't worry, Jim.
But that's the thing, like, we didn't fucking go to school for that or get any type of training on it, but still, you know what boxing questions to ask. You know, these guys sound like Ellie Setback, dude. Like, come on.
It's not giving free promotion.
But, recording.
No, I feel you.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? Before we get into Saturday.
Who do you think about, what's next for Lomachenko? I mean, there's a fighter that's coming up, but who do you want? And who do you want Mike Garcia, like, if you can? Obviously.
Who would I want? Like to see? I feel like the only fighters around him to challenge him, obviously, is Mikey, Miguel Berchelt. That would be an interesting fight.
Jerry Russell, bro.
Oh my god. He's been there, done that.
Oh my.
But yeah, again, he's in the same boat as
You're a punk. You should have said that last week.
he's in the same boat as the Canelo, where like it's like who can make it kind of competitive, because he's not. I don't see him losing to anybody unless he overreaches and goes up in weight.
Yeah,
But
that Mikey fight is dangerous, dude.
That one's a good one, man.
I wouldn't take that, man, if I were him.
I think I would.
After Arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, man.
You think he's gonna be damaged goods? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, there's going to be some damage.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally, dude.
I don't think so. Because you're already taking the fight. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what Kill Brooks said.
I was going to get on Anthony, too, last week for saying that. He said the fight was basically Kell Brook against Triple G. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you comparing Kell Brook to Mikey Garcia? Are you fucking kidding me?
I understand his
Come
comparison,
on,
but it's different fighters.
Just the
Different
fact,
fighters,
once again, he's British, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Those guys are known to be quitters. Honestly. They are. When have you seen a British fighter?
You're gonna defend our British.
But that's why I like Anthony Joshua, dude. Because he showed fucking balls against
Klitschko, I know that.
And those guys don't normally. Every British fighter that comes over here loses. Every single one of them.
What's the point?
But that's why I like Carl Frampton too. He's in the fight Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
He shows some balls against Leo.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
like Carl Frampton.
It was funny, a random story, but I'll just say it real quick. I ran into some British guys in Barcelona, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like at some nightclub or something. I'll tell the story later, probably, but
Yeah, what podcast though?
sometime I'll find some.
You can share.
I'll squeeze it in.
You can share.
But yeah, basically,
Doesn't
for
sound
some
like our
reason
podcast.
we started talking about boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had been drinking. I think those guys are kind of drunk too. But I was like, dude, British fighters can't fight, dude. I was just totally like, and this was right before the Leo against Frampton fight.
Okay.
So, yeah, Frampton did win that fight. But I was like, dude, they fucking, all of them suck, dude. They all lose. Look at Amir Khan and all this shit. I was just like going off. But yeah, he was basically saying they could fight. And they have a lot of heart. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. I haven't seen it. And that's why I like Joshua, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's
yeah,
different.
Joshua digs
It's
deep.
But
I think it's the digging deep. A lot of these fighters don't dig deep. When sometimes like that's all you need to win.
And I think that's just how they're trained, dude. Because even like the referees in Britain, they'll stop it right away if you're
no, but
getting hit too much.
even my boy Luke Campbell, I mean, he gave a good fight.
Can fight.
He should have almost won that fight against Jorge Linares too.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. I mean, that's a competitive one.
He's one to watch too.
Yeah.
I'm looking
That's
forward
that's
to
one
it.
of those ones to replay again and watch.
I'll talk about British fighters at any chance I get.
He just lost a lot of subscribers. All of us.
What are some British fighters that you guys like?
Some British
Me?
fighters.
Let's get some fans back.
Right now. Right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
I like Josh Kelly. You guys probably he's fine on his own, like down there. But yeah, you guys check him out.
Yeah, Luke
It's pretty
Campbell,
sound.
Josh Kelly. Is he British too? Caleb Plant? Or
Caleb
where's he
Plant.
from? Because I'm hearing a lot of noise from this guy.
Every time I hear, because I mean,
like-
Sims, he's the one that brought
Yeah,
him
he's
up,
the
and
one
every
who
time he
brings
brings up
them up.
fighters, they're usually from
Yeah.
Europe.
So him, obviously Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tyson Fury's one.
Amir Khan.
I like Amir Khan. It's just he has no chin, but
No, Amir Khan has
I'm
lots of
over that
respect,
fool.
man.
I'm over that.
Yeah, I'm over him.
when
dude.
you say you're over, you're like he's not going anywhere no more. He already
No,
He's
peaked.
not. He's
To me, it's like-
stepping stone now. That's the
Yeah,
sad
no,
part
yeah.
about it because he's such a good boxer. But they're
To
just
me-
gonna use him now for.
Yeah,
I mean, all the cherries are gonna pick him.
he's
One guy's already gonna start doing that.
he could be. I think he is the next Sam Judah.
which is crazy because he beats out.
Yeah,
Good
but,
saying.
Talking about that, I texted you guys about this. He was like on Instagram Live with Abner Mares.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well,
Abner Mares was pretty much announcing his fight.
hmm
At I don't know. I'm not even gonna
The
say
Step
new
Up
name.
Center.
Yeah,
We're keeping the Step Up
Fuck
Center.
that. But yeah, he's basically telling him, yeah, he's probably gonna fight in LA. And then Amir Khan was saying, fuck Amir Khan. But yeah, when is it? When is the fight?
February 9th?
February 9th.
Step Up Center, Abner Mares against the Tank Davis. We'll talk about that later. I haven't even thought about that fight, honestly.
Yeah, so Carl Frampton fights this Saturday, so that'll be pretty cool. That's for a belt too. So here's what's happening, and I said this too. I said this to you like 2 months ago. I'm telling you, I see stuff from way ahead of. So there's a reason why that fight is on ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically speaking, ESPN Plus. First of all, Bob Arum doesn't have Carl Frampton under that promotion. It's from some other guy. He doesn't own him, but he wanted Carl Frampton to be on ESPN because he wants to win that belt and then unify against Oscar Valdez later on during the summer.
Damn.
So that's the mega fight, Carl Frampton against. It's not gonna be Carl Frampton against Leo Santa Cruz, because Santa Cruz does not want that. Trust me, or else he would have wanted it a long time ago. Why are you gonna fight Modest? Obviously for money, right? But if you want to be, who's better, Frampton or Modest?
Frampton, my
You
opinion.
know, and
Frampton gives him more trouble.
yeah, Valdez versus Frampton is going to be the
You act
fight.
like this is not a business.
No, it is. It is a
It's all a
business.
business.
Yeah, it is a business. But I'm just saying, like,
That's why people say, "Oh, how come he doesn't fight this guy?" Oh shit, dude!
Money.
Get
No,
the
no,
money sign.
No. I'm bringing that up. No, I'm bringing that up because that's what's happening. That's the reason why you're seeing the fight on ESPN, because it's like a two-part series. You fight that fight for the title, and then you finally fight and unify against Oscar Valdez.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you gotta fight one for your boss and one for you. It's how business works. Yeah.
That's the business side. I'm not sure what else to say. But going back to ESPN. This is on some random news.
So that fight is going on where? For the Frampton fight? In Europe? Called Frampton?
Yeah.
So they're probably fight around 2 p.m.?
12 p.m.
12 p.m.
12 p.m. 12 p.m.
That's the main event?
That's like
the beginning of the card.
the beginning of the card.
Okay, so main event like
So if you want to see Billy Joe, Mike Collins gonna fight too.
Damn.
Mike Collins, the guy who gave the middle finger to the judges in the Olympics. He's gonna be there. But ESPN signed, not ESPN, but Top Rank signed a co-promotional deal with LD Alvarez, the guy who beat Kovalev. So from now on, this guy's gonna be making 7 figures every single fight, which is huge. But what's crazy about that, dude? This type of contract, you really think Kovalev is gonna be able to get a fair chance? Like, to me, it's like you better like be on your stuff straight for Kovalev, like, cause everything's gonna be.
Seen him be on reward before, man.
Yeah, everything's gonna be on the Alvarez side, cause he has the contract, he has the network. Kovalev barely just got into this game, but yeah. So you talked about Alvarez, Maris, and then Stevenson, still in the coma.
Man. That's just sad, dude.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's what happens in boxing. Like, there's no like protection for fighters for like health insurance after like you get. That's why Dana White brought this up on ESPN. What type of business can go out of business the next day? That's what boxing is, dude. Like, and that's why a fighter always would try to fight and get the most money in one fight, because that next day can't be granted at all. And that's why UFC, it's regulated, and that's always gonna have like a long longevity. But in boxing, it could go away the next day, dude. It's not regulated. We're barely finally getting networks, and that's why. And then it could go away because fighters could die the next day because they're not being protected.
Yeah.
But we could talk about that another time, because I could actually bring it up next time between Golden Boy and not Golden Boy, but Oscar versus Dana White. We should talk about that feud, because I think because both people
It's
are
not a gossip show.
no, because both of them are right, but both of them are wrong too.
It's all for TV.
Not really, honestly. I think they're both raising some interesting points.
Am I the only one that doesn't care about that gossipy shit?
No,
I don't even listen to it.
You should, man. It's important.
I got other things to do.
Because like, because Oscar's a hypocrite, dude.
Yeah.
Want me to tell you why?
Why?
This fool, either he's a fool or he's an educated fool, dude.
Hey, come
No.
here.
Okay, you want me to tell you why? All right. So he's saying that the end of pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying with
Obviously, he has
this.
to say that. What the?
Yeah.
This is a business.
Yeah.
My goodness. dude.
All right. This fight, this MMA card, was it in the zone or was it in pay-per-view?
That's pay-per-view.
I rest my case.
That's why he's saying like
I rest my
he
case.
is preaching the whole non-pay-per-view thing, but yet he's having like,
It's a business.
so he has to say this for the zone, but then he can still like do it on the side, like.
Yep. And then what he said, and a los golpes. Oh, we can make Mayweather at 160.
Yeah, and you know Mayweather's only gonna fight on pay-per-view.
Are you gonna make that in pay-per-view? Oh, I'm like, okay. What the?
They asked him that, right?
Yeah, they asked him that.
And what did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's like I
You
get.
know, like,
See, that's what I'm saying. That's where the zone is pulling the strings. Like, we need you to say this. We need you to say this.
You know
You
what?
think-
And you guys still watch
I think
TV.
so, man.
and do you
And
think?
you guys still watch this.
No, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, I think like
Imagine what
that's
the
their
zone
brand.
is saying. Like, dude, why are you saying in pay-per-view? We got your boy under contract. We the ones who make.
The zone pay-per-view, man.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up last
Yeah.
week.
Like, dude, all this stuff is all obvious. I don't know why you guys even entertain it.
No,
I don't understand.
no,
No,
because-
to
all
me,
this
just-
gossip back and forth, dude. It's a business. All this stuff is so obvious. That's why when you guys talk about it, I just like space off. 'Cause I'm just like,
No, because
it's all obvious stuff, dude. Like, why is it even being brought up?
No, because $10 was never always the point with the zone. It was never the point. Because that's what I was telling you. The numbers don't make sense, and that's why I feel like Canelo's underpaid. That's my whole premise from the whole conversation with the zone. Canelo's underpaid, and that subscription doesn't make sense for it to be $10. It doesn't make sense at all. The numbers do not line up, dude. It doesn't line up.
What you were saying is like, to me, like obviously the thing that bothers is like, don't say like no pay-per-views if you're still gonna do pay-per-views, but obviously this is like a DAZN. To me, just like, dude, to me, it just bothers me because when people contradict.
You're watching
no.
TV. What do you expect?
Yes.
That's what I told you guys. I don't watch TV. What do you expect when you're watching TV?
I get that.
You know what
I get
it is?
that point.
You know what it is? It's because people allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And it's up to the reporters to call them out.
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
You really
but you
think
do know
I'm
that
gonna ask a soft question to ask?
Yeah. You know.
My first question.
Isn't that calling them out?
Yes.
I just calls them out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I know that he's saying.
At the end of the day, it's all for TV, dude.
To me, like, I know that he's saying, like, no pay-per-view, no pay-per-view, no pay-per-view, because they really need all the subscriptions. He really needed people to be like, oh, crap, if I pay this subscription, like, I never have to pay for pay-per-view again. You're still going to pay for pay-per-view. Like, it's not going away. Yeah. But I get Gio's point.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch TV at all.
I'm just laughing at this conversation.
We're both right and we're both wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But now talk
point.
about the Saturday.
All right. So the real topic about today. Saturday, Commerce Casino, Allstar Boxing Promotions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be there ringside doing the live commentary. Shout out JT Media. Anything you want to add?
I'm excited. We usually have fights every 3 months. This time we just had to wait like a month and a half. So
this is my fourth fight since August. So either I came at the right time or something, dude, or either I'm good luck. Trust me, I'm not good luck. But I think there's like 8 fights. So how's the experience like with Commerce Casino? That's what I want to get at. What should I be expecting?
What should you be expecting from
Should
Commerce?
I bring food? Is there a jacket box across the street? Or what?
There's places to get food, but we usually bring our own food. But we usually take a few shots before too, Chris. Just be ready for that.
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's a good time.
But so, who have you recently seen at post fights and those fights watching from the stands there before?
So we obviously one of the times we've been on Commerce, we've seen Abel. We actually he sat with us. We did
for how long?
Commentary. We had him for
Longer than we wanted him.
Wow.
Remember,
No,
it
it's
seemed
funny.
like I kind of kicked him out.
He did. So we had him for a fight, and it seemed like he wanted to stay. That's where he's comfortable. But I feel like Gio felt like, like we don't want to take away his time.
Yeah, because look.
So we let him go.
First of all, Chris was like, hey, you should get him on to say some words. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Whatever, I'll ask.
At this time,
it doesn't hurt.
Was it just you two doing this?
I think it was us two, right? Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
It was just us two, right?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been.
So go ahead. So you lost your third partner, right? So I'm filling in for Abel Sanchez.
Yeah, dude. You know what?
Replaced Abel.
Did you guys see when Anthony Joshua was on the zone? He did the same thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They were like, we'll have you like for 1 round or 2.
He stayed on?
He stayed for,
okay.
and they kept telling him.
That's why they're comfortable, bro. Like, that's where, like, I think he was more comfortable with us than with the two people he was, like, sitting, because you're just
fun,
like...
dude. People don't realize it, but it's fun once you get, like, used to it. But, yeah, they kept telling Joshua, like, oh, we know we're only supposed to have you for a little bit, you know, like, you can...
Yeah.
We know you have things to do. He's like, no, it's okay. Like, he kept talking to Sugar Ray Leonard, and the other fool told him that, like, 3 times.
Yeah.
So they finally let him go. They're laughing about it. But same thing with Abel. We're talking to him about the Triple G rematch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just told him, like, because when he passed by the first time, we were like, hey, do you want to hop on the broadcast? Like, just like, even if it's like 30 seconds to a minute, you know, just to say some words. He's like, yeah, just call me later on.
Mm-hmm.
This was before the fight started.
Yeah.
Nice.
So during the fights, like, when the good fight, like, it was close to the main event. So like, all right, we probably have a lot of viewers right now. I asked him, hey, can you just, like, a couple questions? He's like, yeah, sure. Came over, and yeah, dude, we had, like, I don't know how long, dude. Probably, like, 2 rounds, huh?
So we have to do that. We have to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Dude.
We'll bring him in.
Dude, he was so comfortable because he was giving us obviously like coach insight.
He's talking about Triple G's training camp. He's talking about the fights going on in front of us.
Yeah.
I think we were asking him like, oh, what advice would you give these young fighters? And he was like actually talking about the fighters in front of us.
He was, we asked him like, what do you, like, what do you see? Like, I know you come here as a coach, but like, you come here as a fan as well. Like, what do you? He was giving us a lot of like
more than what you asked.
Yeah, and that's why I was laughing because like Gio's like we felt like, oh, he's probably here with friends. We don't want to take time away. So Gio's like, oh, like after he was with us for a good minute.
I was trying to tell him like, all right, one last question. I'll ask you this, and then he just kept going. And going. All right, fucking 2 more questions.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
It was so funny.
And then at the end it was like...
I was like, we'll let you get back to your...
The combo was getting good. I was just
yeah.
like, I was just like, all right, thanks, Leo. We'll let you get back to enjoying the show.
He's like, oh, okay.
He's like, oh, shit. Time's up.
Yeah, he was comfortable in there. I'm sure he would have stayed there till the main event. Yeah.
Yeah, but people kind of like it, I've noticed. Even Eddie, the matchmaker, right?
Yeah.
After the first time we brought him on, he was like very, like, thankful. He's like, oh, thanks, I've never done this. It was fun. Blah.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, for sure, next time I'll get you on. Even Frog Dog last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was like,
that's the thing. When you're around people that that love the sport that you love, and that you're having a good conversation, not just like casual, like dumb questions. Stuff like it's a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. We also saw Bandido Vargas.
So we're gonna have him on, but
yeah. He was just out there chilling.
He was chilling.
He was like he had some people around him, right?
Yeah.
So
he was there with people.
Did you call him out?
We were gonna call him up, but we ended up calling Abel.
Yeah, Abel.
Okay.
And then he kind of got lost in the crowd after a while.
Yeah.
When we saw John Molina Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He saw him there.
Yeah.
I think Leo's dad had a fighter there too, right?
Yeah.
That night.
Leo's dad. Mm-hmm.
I think Sylvester Stallone's brother was there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people.
Hopefully Mikey Garcia or Leo will be there.
I don't know about Mike, man. Mike,
he's
gonna get packed.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
True.
But that should be fun. It's gonna start around. They always say like 7, 8, but it starts like 8:30.
8:30.
We'll link that up. It's gonna be broadcasted live on Facebook. Allstar Boxing and MMA. We'll link that up too. And yeah, if you guys happen to be watching, just write some comments on the comment section. We'll shout you guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out against the ropes. All that stuff.
Hey. It's gonna be a good time, for sure.
Anything you want to take away for today before we close? Final words. Well, we have to cover this fight. And then we have the Charles brothers fighting.
Yeah.
And then we have Frampton fighting.
In the morning or in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in the 20th.
Also, the White Chisora cards for our UK fans out there.
So the reason I'm bringing this up then. So next, if we do the podcast again on the 27th, it'll be Thursday. It'll be the last podcast before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll have our top.
So we're gonna do our top.
A newly top 10.
Top 10. Yeah, this time from 1 through 10, pound. Best fight.
Okay, we'll do a best fight of the year. We'll do a knockout of the year.
Knockout of the year. Your trainer.
Trainer of the year. Okay, I like that. Random stories.
We'll tell random stories about our years.
Yeah.
We told some last week. This whole avoiding fights at the train station. We gotta tell your gas station story after the contender.
Oh gosh. We got stories. We got how we.
I'm sorry, man.
We'll save it for next week.
Never forget. I'm glad you brought that.
We'll have some.
I love 76.
Jeez.
Y'all bad, man.
We have some of the best guys.
We had a couple of crazy months, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We met a magician.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Did a magic trick. I gotta show you a video. We'll show you later. I don't want to talk about it on air. But yeah, it's crazy. We started this in September, and we have a lot of stories now. But yeah, for now, Saturday, December 22nd.
It doesn't seem real.
And that's crazy, dude. Like the stuff that's happened on the show, we've laughed, we shed some tears. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. Like we've done.
I never thought we would get to that point, dude.
Yeah.
Just like, damn.
Oh, I knew it was gonna happen.
No, but when you started the podcast, I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought it was all
because it was all fun and games.
All fun and
it was just like
that's all fun
we're
and
gonna
games.
go in there, talk our shit, have fun.
It's all fun and games until it gets real, right?
Until you get hit. Until you get hit.
Yeah, that wasn't in the game plan, dude. We didn't train for that.
No,
Chris went to some video games.
Yeah, it's just surreal.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, it's been crazy.
So we'll talk about it, but yeah, I'm next.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, next Saturday. Feels like a Saturday, but next Thursday will be cool.
Yeah, but for now, December 22nd, Allstar Boxing. We'll shout you guys out, like I said. Shout us out too. It should be fun. We're gonna have a lot of bouts. Anything you wanna add?
We'll try to get some merchandise from the fights, and we'll do a end of the year.
Yeah, we still have to give the other one, the Creed. It's just laying there.
We'll just do a bundle giveaway. Yeah.
So stay tuned. We want to thank Anthony Sims Jr. and his pops, Frog Dog, last week for being with us. Another good interview. Hopefully we do some other stuff with them in the future.
Yeah.
Keep you guys posted. And yeah.
That's it. Any random news, guys? No?
That's it.
That's it. All right, thanks, guys.
But as the year closes around already, what's one of the biggest takeaways you got for this year of boxing? If there's one headline you want to emphasize on this year.
Want to start with you?
Heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
I think this year wasn't major in any other, most of the other divisions, but heavyweight boxing is back. We had a heavyweight boxing match this afternoon between Derek Chisora and Dillian Whyte. That was a pretty good fight.
What grade do you give boxing this year?
Probably a C.
I give it a B. It was a pretty good year.
Why a C?
There were many big fights.
I give it a B.
There were two big fights. Other than that, bunch of, the same types of fights that we've been seeing. But hopefully next year they'll pick it up.
Okay.
What do you grade it?
Me? Probably like a B plus.
I give it a B. A bunch of a lot of the fights that fans wanted, they got.
Like which ones?
What do you mean which ones?
What fights?
Well, Triple G Canelo. That one got made. Obviously the heavyweight. Obviously we didn't get the Joshua, but we got
Tyson Fury against
Tyson
Deontay
Fury
Wilder,
Deontay
right?
Wilder, we got Lomachenko, testing his skills against the best available opponents out there.
One thing that I will say about boxing this year, and this is something I was talking to my friend earlier today, that usually we wait for big fights like every 2 months or 3 months, but now it's like it's coming up occasionally, like once a month.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've been noticing, and part of it just comes down to a subscription with DAZN, Showtime, and Fox with all these new deals. You're seeing non-stop boxing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when that happens, it's not about quantity, right? Hopefully we get quality in the fights.
Yeah.
If anything, this year was a setup for next year. Like the skeleton of boxing. Is
That's
like
what we
the
say
framework
every year, man.
I'm not.
Heavyweight fight today,
Yeah.
Chisora versus Whyte. What do you make of not just that fight, but just in the heavyweight division in general?
So I was not able to watch it, but I know Gio was. So Gio, what did you see from that fight?
It was a good fight, man. It was a good fight. Anthony Joshua was in attendance. Derek Chisora was actually winning the fight,
Right.
even though they deducted 2 points, one for a low blow and one for an elbow. But he was still up on 2 scorecards by 1 point, I believe. And at the end of the day, he got knocked out toward the end of the fight. But, Dillian Whyte proceeded to call out Anthony Joshua, who was there in attendance. Joshua basically said that his priority was Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
But, Dillian Whyte is still a good contender in that heavyweight division.
Yeah. And he gave Anthony problems when they fought that first time. So that's a very intriguing fight.
An interesting fight. You guys want to talk about the other fight? Frampton against Warrington?
So you sent me the link, Gio, of the opening bout, and Warrington came to fight. I've never seen somebody come at Frampton the way, this guy did, and he just had his number this night.
He came out very aggressive, and he kept that up throughout the whole bout. So that was a good fight for him. Potential opponents. We have Leo Santa Cruz here in the house.
Yeah,
we'll probably ask him about it. But anything else you guys want to discuss?
Not just the heavyweight division.
Heavyweight division.
Yeah, it's heating up without a doubt.
It's beyond wow. We haven't seen that heavyweight division in this stage for a long time. Usually Klitschko always kept us sleeping watching that division. But now it's like, it's so many fighters, Dillian Whyte, Chisora, Fury, Ortiz, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Joe Joyce. So you have a bunch of fighters coming up in that division. So it's like open season.
Yeah, we'll see if Usyk makes that jump to the heavyweight division. Another interesting fighter, another top pound-for-pound guy. another guy from the Ukraine, another Olympic gold medalist. You know, he just has a very good resume, and we'll see if he makes
I'm
that
excited.
jump to the heavyweight division.
Usually we wait for big fights like every 2 months or 3 months, but now it's like it's coming up occasionally, like once a month. Down to a subscription with DAZN, Showtime, and Fox with all these new deals. You're seeing non-stop boxing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when that happens, it's not about quantity, right? Hopefully we get quality in the fights.
Yeah,
If anything, this year was a setup for next year. Like the skeleton of boxing. Is
that's
like
what we
the
say
framework
every year, man.
I'm not saying it's going to be, an A.
I will
year,
say,
but
like, the
it's just
past
like-
2 years in boxing has been amazing compared to the past years we have.
Yeah, we
like,
had-
the past, like, we've been having terrible years in boxing.
We'll talk about that later.
Seriously,
But
we're
here
talking
goes Jim,
like
Jim
the
in the ring.
fiscal years. It's piñata season for you right now,
Yeah.
like, for this Charlo, so go ahead.
It's open. It's open season for Gio.
Tell us about what just happened with Charlo today.
Yeah, so I didn't want to talk about it, because for certain reasons, but
But you're the one who brought it up, though, just to let you know.
yeah. So Tony Harrison upsets Jermell Charlo. Tony Harrison is now 28-2. Charlo 31-1.
And so what was the scorecard?
The scores were 116, 112, 115,
Wow.
113, and 115, 113.
Oh,
So yeah, unanimous. That's one less guy we have to hear about for a while. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I've never been a fan of the Charlo brothers. I never thought they were that good of fighters, and I'm just glad one of them took this loss. What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of shocking,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, because you expect him to take that loss once he steps up
When he
against
steps
better
up, yeah.
opposition,
Yeah.
right? Not against
That's
this
the
type of
thing.
fighter,
That's
but
the thing. Yeah, I agree.
But that's
So,
when
I'm
hype,
not surprised.
But that's when
honestly.
hype recognizes real right there.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Charlo.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
All that talking, and you let your arms down on this fight right here. And the thing is, this fight makes him look bad because he came into Staples Center on December 1st calling out Swift about making a fight in his
Yeah.
next fight.
Yeah.
Now he looked like a fool
Yeah.
losing this fight.
He was saying he was the man at 154, right?
Right.
When he's not even holding the
Yep.
major belts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're
this-
gonna talk,
gotta back
make
it
sure
up.
you win every fight.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a showcase fight for the Charlo brothers, and
Yeah.
it didn't go according to plan. So
I mean, this is boxing, right?
Yeah, it's
Anything can
boxing.
happen.
So we gotta see how he bounces back from this. But I mean, yeah, he got exposed in this fight for sure.
Yeah, this
So-
is basically, this is Swift's division from now on, though.
Yeah.
It's not Charlo.
And what I meant by saying we won't have to hear about him for a while, I meant that you're not gonna see him hop on the ring anymore. Disrupting other people's interviews. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Get that circus stuff out of here. Keep it in the circus, and shout out to Swift Hurd, man. That was a good fight. His last fight.
He was
coming back
losing.
from injury.
Yeah, he was losing
coming
that
back from
fight.
Injury.
yeah.
Losing that fight.
And this fight was supposed to set up, Charlo
That
for big
pay-per-view.
fights in 2019.
Yeah, that type of fight.
And this is PBC on Fox. They only fight twice a year. So next one usually is going to be a comeback fight. So they're probably going to... So you probably won't, Yeah, it's rebuilding time for
Yeah,
Charlo for sure.
It's a huge blow for Premier Boxing, and specifically
of course.
speaking, Al Heyman, and one of his crown fighters to lose in national television.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we do have Munguia, right, in that division. We have some people supporting him in the comment section. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, very good fighter.
We'll see what he can do at that division, or if he moves up to 160. I mean, he's a good name for the near future.
Yeah, and Munguia was going to be an opponent for Triple G when that fight fell through. And we all thought, no, this guy's a prospect. He's too young. He's not ready.
Yeah.
But no, he showed us, that he's got the goods. He's got the size. He's got youth on his side.
But he's still very
He's
young.
explosive,
I
yeah.
feel like he's still going to grow into his body and get stronger and better.
He's one of those fighters that are in the driver's seat for sure.
Yeah. Anytime you take that L, you kind of have to fall back a little bit. Get in the passenger seat,
And
Guys
this-
like Munguia and Hurd right now are in that driver's seat.
the Charlos taking this loss just adds pressure for PBC to make a great fight next year, next card.
Yeah, as we have John Sanchez Leon making his way into the ring. We have a special guest here. We have someone special joining us. Mr. Leo Santa Cruz himself. How you doing,
Hey, how
Leo?
you doing? I'm great, thank you. Great to be here at this great fights.
What brings you out here? Let me ask you.
My friends, I have two fighters that they train my gym, and we get in their fights, and we're gonna try to make them champions. So Joe Jose Perez and Jerry Perez.
Yeah, we saw your father here as well.
My dad trains them, and I get them fights. So we're trying to get them up there, and hopefully one day we make them world champions.
And here we go with Jim in the ring for the official introductions. Yes, we have John Sanchez Leon making his way into the ring. We have a special guest here. We have someone special joining us, Mr. Leo Santa Cruz himself. How you doing,
Hey,
Leo?
how you doing? I'm great, thank you. Great to be here at this great fights.
What brings you out here? Let me ask you.
My friends, I have two fighters that they train my gym, and we get in their fights, and we're gonna try to make them champions. So Joe Jose Perez and Jerry Perez.
Yeah, we saw your father here as well.
My dad trains them, and I get them fights. So we're trying to get them up there, and hopefully one day we make them world champions.
And here we go with Jim in the ring for the official introductions. We've seen him last time. Very good boxer. Saludos a toda la gente de Colombia, de Bogotá, Medellín, Cali.
Sí, saludos a todos, a toda la gente que lo está mirando.
Yeah, and we have WBA super featherweight champion with us here, Leo Santa Cruz. What do you like so far that you've seen tonight?
I don't know, great fights. The guys that came here, they came to fight. They have give the fans great fights, knockouts, and toe-to-toe, and just, great fights. All great fights.
You don't have much time to adjust, right, in 4-round fights. Do you remember when you were coming up fighting 4-round fights?
Yeah, I remember. I still remember like if it was yesterday. It's really hard because it's 4 rounds. If you lose one, you have to win all 3. Because if not, you're gonna go a draw or you can even lose. So you have to come out quick since the first round.
What's some advice you can give these guys fighting 4-round fights?
Is to come well prepared, because some kids they come and they let everything go in the first round and they get tired and then they lose the next 3. So I think just be patient, come out ready, but come well prepared.
Yeah, and that's what Gabber is doing, right? He came out right away, throwing punches, and Sanchez Leon is just taking his time, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, the other guy. I know him. I saw him fight in Ontario, and he's a great fighter. He comes forward. He starts throwing a lot of punches. He's an aggressive fighter, and he could take a punch too.
You see both guys not wasting any time, getting right to it.
Yep, all fights have been like that. They come straight to fight, and they come and throw, and they all give it on the first round, and the third round, and every round.
What you think about Jose Perez?
I think he looked great. He came out strong. He was landing the big hooks, and he got a knockout like he had to.
Scored a good knockout for him.
Yeah, he has good power. I spar with him. I have sparred with him, and he has good power.
Now, Santa Cruz, like when you're outside the ring,
couldn't tell there if he was just off balance or if he really got caught.
Either he got off balance or he got rocked.
No, I think he did get hurt. I think you could tell that he's kind of hurt. He's got to be careful and put his hands up and just come out stronger in the next round. And be careful.
And respect to Matt Dever. He has a record of 0-2, but you see these guys fighting. Sometimes their records don't reflect what you see in the ring.
Of course, it depends who have they fought. And like I said, I saw him fight, and he fought an undefeated guy, and he was tough. The fight was pretty close, and it could have been a draw, but they gave it to the other kid.
Here we go. That's the end of the first round. Very tough round.
Yep, tough round.
Leo, and I just want to ask you something real quick, because you do have a fight coming up, right?
Yes, I do.
February 16th in
February
LA?
16th, and I think in the Microsoft Amphitheater.
Yes.
Right there, yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a fighter maybe not a lot of people know. His name is Miguel Flores, but he's a Mexican fighter from Chotam, the same place I am. And I think, every fighter is strong. They come prepared, and I never underestimate no fighter. I'm prepared for a fight. I prepare the same way, and they come to fight, and that's what I'm expecting of him to come to fight, and I know it's gonna be a good fight. When two Mexicans fight each other, we give the best we got, and I'm expecting that from Miguel Flores, and I just hoping to get the win, and I was hoping Frampton was gonna win today, but I heard that he lost, and hopefully unify against Warrington.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you if you caught that fight.
I know I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that fight, but I heard, and I was surprised.
Yeah, there was a lot of action in that fight. Like you said, Frampton lost, but there's another opponent possibly for you, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but first of all, focus on.
Yeah, I know we gotta focus on this fight. Hopefully everything goes good, and after that we'll see what happens.
All right, we're here back in the action with John Sanchez Leon.
Matt Garrett came to fight.
Yeah, a little bit of the same, right, from the first round.
Yeah, I know.
Both guys trying to fight close to each other.
Yep, he's a tough fighter.
And, we saw John Sanchez Leon in his last fight.
Yeah.
He actually got knocked down and was still able to win that fight.
Oh, really? No, I didn't see it, but yeah, I know him too. He's a great fighter. He comes and he fights. He was training in our gym a couple of times, so he's a great fighter. But Gabriel gave him a tough fight. I think Leon, he needs to use his distance. He's fighting right with, because the other guy is shorter, so he needs to use his distance. And from the outside, I think he'll make the fight easier for him.
You ever thought about training? You ever thought about training?
All the time.
Yeah, you have to train all the time, right? Like young fighters.
Yeah,
They're always coming up to you for advice.
Yep.
You see some blood now coming out of Matt Gaver's face.
Yeah, the Leon was catching it with punches now. He's starting to, get inside.
Tell me about that, Leo. Like, what happens when you're bleeding? How does that affect you when you're trying to throw punches, trying to move combinations? Like, what goes through your mind when your nose is bleeding?
When your nose is bleeding, sometimes it does affect you. When it's in your eye, it does affect you because you can't see, or something in the nose, you can't breathe. But sometimes it doesn't really affect you. Sometimes it even pumps you up more. When you have blood, or when you see blood, it pumps you up to go out there and, make the fight even better. To some guys, I think it scares them. To some people, it pumps them up.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go, John, with his distance, right?
Yep. That's what he has to do. Use his distance because the other guy's shorter. So, see, like that. Use his distance, just throw his combination, and then move.
So this round is closing already, but I have Gabbard winning it 2-0 from my point of view. But looks like Sanchez wants to do some damage before this round ends.
Yeah, I'm sorry to contradict you, but I think this round, John won it. I think he used his distance. I think it's 1-1 maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was a good round for him. Like you said, he's starting to use his distance a little more.
Yeah, I think he landed the cleaner shots. I think Gavin was making pressure, but I think De Leon got him with some better shots.
How's training camp going for you right now?
It's going great. I started sparring. I did 5 rounds already. I'm gonna move up to 6 rounds, probably 8 rounds this week, and then little by little I'm gonna go up to 12 rounds. I always go 12 rounds, sometimes even 13 rounds. So I could be ready, and my dad's gonna be there in the gym with me, training me. So I'm ready, and we're gonna go prepared.
And today we have Frampton, like a fighter that we might have probably expected to win today, right? Then we have one of the Charlo brothers lost today.
I know too.
How does that play into your mind, like going up to this fight? Like you don't let your guard down, right?
No, of course not. And I always said it. I never let my guard down. I never underestimate no fighter. I said anything could happen up in the ring. That's why, when they say, "Oh, you're gonna fight nobody," I'm like, not nobody. When you get up there in the ring,
exactly.
Both are throwing punches. You guys could land good punch, and he could catch you with a good punch and drop you. You never know. So that's why I always prepare 100%.
Right.
And we see both of these men are well prepared, right?
Yep.
They're still fighting the same way from the first minute of the first round.
Yep. And it's 4 rounds. This fight's 4 rounds, huh?
Yeah, it's 4 rounds.
So it's 4 rounds, so they gotta let everything out. They can't let nothing for the judges.
you're just joining us, we're live from the Commerce Casino. We have Leo here. Thanks, Leo, for joining us. We're happy to see you here. And
thank you.
good luck to your father's fighters.
Thank you very much.
I know you guys stay close with them.
Yep.
You know you give them advice.
Yep, I
know,
do.
But this is the 6th bout of tonight. Very good fight so far.
Yep, all of them have been great fights. One have gone to decision, some by knockout, but they all been great fights.
It looks like Sanchez is posing his will on Gavin already.
Yep. And he is needed the first round to wake up and,
Yeah. Give credit to Gaver, right? He's still coming forward.
I know
right?
he did. Again, the Leon staying inside. He has to use his distance, stay from the outside.
Oh, great right.
Yep. I think that hurt him.
Left hook.
And, these scorecards are going to be interesting, right? Because we had one guy here on the table seeing it toward Gaver, and we had another guy, Mr. Santa Cruz, for John Sanchez Leon. So it's going to be very interesting here.
They're both going back and forth. I think this last angle is going to win it for John De Leon.
Oh, great right by Leon.
Yep. I think Gavin was winning the round, but now John's getting the last seconds.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Leo, after the bell rings afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because things are heating up in here.
Yep.
It's the end of the 3rd round, and it's still very close.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be the judges.
That's my question right there. That's why I'll lead up to it in a bit.
Nice round right
John's showing good variety, right? Good variety by John.
Yeah. Yep, he did. He finished strong. He had to.
Leo, like boxing in general, it's kind of hard because it's basically opinion-based, right?
Yeah.
You have different angles to score a fight.
Yep.
Do you think that professional boxers should be the ones judging the fights, or is there a way to fix that or change that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, everybody make mistakes. So I think, not only fighters, other people could be judges too, but, they have to have, they have to not be...
Proper training, perhaps?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I think, it's not just the boxers, because also boxers make mistakes and we could be wrong too, but I think anybody could be a judge, but they have to be trained and well prepared. Right?
Yeah, like this fight, right?
Yeah, of course,
it's difficult to score it.
Yeah, because some other people, they think just by throwing, they already winning. Because I have seen people that, some fighters, they just throwing, they're not landing, but they're throwing, and they think they're winning just because they're throwing, but the other fighter is landing the better, perfect shots, and they don't see that.
All right, this is the 4th and final round.
Yep.
John Sanchez Leon against Matt Gaver.
John got to win this round. If not, it's going to be probably a draw.
Yeah, we know John has a big following out of Colombia, so
Yeah, he does.
we know they're going to be supporting him.
Yep.
It looks like both guys know, right, that they need this round. 'Cause right away, that foot on the gas pedal.
Like right there, both of them are throwing, both going back and forth, but I think John is landing the better shots.
They're not wasting time at all.
Yeah, right there, see right hand.
Straight right by John. And he mixes it up like we were saying, right? It's not just head hunting.
No, he's going to the body, up,
body,
uppercut,
everything, right?
Gaver's still coming forward.
He's coming forward.
Great body by Leon.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Good little uppercut there by Leon. He's showing good defense too.
Yep. Right there, Gavin's being the aggressor and everything, but he's not landing the shots.
Comes back with his own flurry of punches.
Yep.
Like you guys said, maybe at this point, it looks like he's just landing the stronger punches.
Yeah. Yeah, Gavin's throwing a lot of punches, but I think...
Do you think
not
he's
the power.
landing the harder punch, or is it because Gabbard is tired already?
Yeah, I think Gavin's tired.
Right.
Yeah, he's tired. He's throwing the punches, but they're not that strong.
Good combination there by John Sanchez Leon, and then he gets out of balance a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, we got 1 minute left right now.
And you know what? Gabbard follows him. He's staying on him the whole fight.
No, he is. He came well prepared.
Good 1-2 there by Leon.
That's what he has to do. 1-2, 1-2. Keep it on the outside. Don't let him come in.
And you know Gabbard's trying to get on the inside, right?
Yep, yeah, he has to because he's shorter. He has shorter reach, so he has to be in the inside.
Good left hook there by Leon. He
Yeah,
followed
body,
that up.
good
Good body shot.
Body shot hurt him.
25 seconds left in this fourth round. Leon is trying to score a knockout.
Let's say that
10
body.
seconds
Oh,
left.
he's coming down. Knees are buckling.
Gabbard still fighting back, and the referee stops.
Oh, and the referee just protects him.
The referee stops it.
But then that wasn't, he shouldn't have stopped it. He was hurt, but he wasn't to stop
Good
it.
flurry of punches by
Yeah.
John Sanchez Leon.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting what the judges had, right?
yeah.
But we're never going to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good fight once again. And before we let you go, Leo, thank you once again for joining us. Any last words for the people listening to this for the holidays?
To other people, happy holidays, happy New Year. You know, thank you for all the support, for supporting boxing, all the fighters. You know, we work really hard to go out there and give them great fights. So, and for them to show us the love, we really appreciate it. So thank you for all of them, and hopefully they watch my fight on February 16th.
Well, we'll be tuned in. Thanks a lot, Leo.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Santa Cruz for joining us. He did a great job.
You know what I saw from Matt Gabbard in this fight? What Wellington did to Frampton in the beginning. He just came at him and he was trying to take him off his game plan. He had some success in the beginning right away, and then started having success in between. But man, Sanchez de Leon just showed like tremendous grit, tremendous work rate. You know, he smelled blood at the end and he got his man out. And wow, what a fight.
Yeah, and we're talking with Leo that he needed to use his distance a little more, right? And
Yeah,
that's exactly what he started doing.
Yeah.
I mean, here we actually have Leo stepping into the ring
Man.
next to Ed Holmes. But yeah, that was a very good fight. How did you have it if you scored the fight? Did you think it was pretty close, this last fight?
It was close with both men having their moments. So yeah.
Yeah, so we got to talk a little bit about the Frampton fight, right? Leo was saying he hoped that Frampton would win, but maybe that's the next possible opponent for Leo, Warrington, now that, he retained his belt, and he got a big win over Carl Frampton.
Yeah, that's a big name to his resume, and, a name that we at Against the Ropes podcast talked about, Frampton being an opponent for Leo for that rubber match, and nope, right now it seems like Warrington is in the running now.
Yeah, that's what I told Leo. When you see something like today happen with one of the Charlos that's supposed to win, when Frampton's supposed to win, like how does that play into your mind, right? Leading up to this fight, because everybody thinks that Leo Santa Cruz is going to be a given, right? Yeah. Like you take that into consideration, not mess around, take training camp more serious the next day, right?
That's what he said, or what was his answer?
That's he knows that, he understands that, dude. Yeah, but he's shocked that Frampton actually lost today.
Hey, fight fans, make sure you visit F4 Studios table. They have all the...
In this hot seat, I'm going to ask, do you guys see him having a future as a commentator after he hangs up the gloves?
I think a lot of professional boxers have a job outside boxing.
Yeah.
We've seen it already with Anthony Joshua, and I've seen Deontay Wilder do commentating for the
Hey,
Political.
fight fans, a correction. Sorry, there's only 4 more fights left. But hey, they're great, exciting fights coming your way.
Yeah, so a lot of professional boxers always have an opportunity to do ringside commentating. And yeah, what do you think, Jim?
Yeah, of course. They always give you that special insight that not many people can give you, right? Especially a champion like Santa Cruz. And we also asked them about perhaps training And he said, of course.
And,
You know,
and
'cause
I
he was
asked
giving
him,
these young guys advice, things like that.
besides the training, besides the doing the ringside commentating, I'll tell him about the perspective about being a judge.
What did he say?
What did he say, Gio?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? You know, it gives a different insight, right? Because they know how punches get thrown, right?
Okay.
The sweet science of boxing, so that always helps. It always helps when you have some sort of experience, right?
Yeah.
But the sport of boxing needs to evolve some sort of way, you know. All sports do that, but we'll see what happens in the future of boxing.
All right, so what else did he share that you guys can share with me since?
You'll listen to it. Don't worry. We're gonna put clips up on Against the Ropes podcast, and if you're following live on Facebook too, you can always replay this event. But like we said, there is 4 fights coming up. Ricardo Cuellar against Ivan Valera. Shout out to Allstar Boxing Promotions. Shout out to Ed Holmes and Eddie Matchmaker. Shout out to everyone in attendance here.
Ed and Eddie. Ed and Eddie, they need another Ed to complete that team.
Yeah, shout out to the boxers too. They've given us very good fights today. This
So,
evening.
what's one of the biggest surprises of 2018 in boxing
Biggest
this year?
surprises. Oh man, we just got 2 surprises today with Wellington and with the
Frampton?
Charlo upset. Yeah, that's but the biggest upset of 2018. Biggest upset or the biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise, yeah, biggest surprise.
To me, the biggest surprise has to be Tyson Fury's comeback for sure. Because
Yeah,
if you told us at the beginning of the year that he was gonna, do what he did, a lot of people would have been like, "You're crazy, man." Like,
Yeah, I
no
agree
way.
with that. Remember, because
Yeah.
I had Tyson Fury winning since the beginning, but I was impressed at how well he actually did, and he was in very good shape, man.
Yeah.
Coming back from the drug usage and mental depression, I was impressed by that comeback.
Yeah.
Not to mention that 12th round, when he did the Undertaker and got up.
Man, no, that's
What about you?
it has to be Tyson Fury. A lot of people had Deontay Wilder winning it, even professional boxers, but at the end of the day, that's what Tyson Fury is about, right? Where I could come into your house in Germany, or I could come down into the United States and take over your belt. And we all know who won in that fight. And that was Tyson Fury. There's a difference between just landing one punch and being a technical boxer, There's more than just landing one punch. And Tyson Fury brings a lot of variables. He brings the hook,
Boxing
uppercut.
judges are boxing judges, right? Here's Jim in the ring.
so. Be patient, guys. He's almost here.
Don't worry. We'll keep you entertained right now. We'll talk about what everybody wants to talk about. Let's talk about Canelo for a little bit.
That's fine. If you guys want us to talk about something, a topic, drop your comments. Anything in the boxing world, it's fair game. We'll talk about it. So, Chris, you want to talk about Canelo?
Yeah, it was an interesting fight because, a lot of people were making the headline of Canelo moving up to 168. See if he's able to take a punch or see how his body's going to be at 168. And there was nothing that we were able to, understand from Canelo's point of view, right? Because what shocked us was that Rocky Fielding didn't even, show up to the fight at all,
He wasn't the opponent that a champion that holds a belt, is supposed to be. We could have been okay with him losing. If you get in the ring with Canelo, especially with the opponents that Canelo has around him, mostly these fights, you're going to win. There's a reason why Canelo's a pound for pound, in the top 3. But, you got to show at least something. Show the caliber of fighter that got you that title, Of course, nowadays, some of these titles are a little obsolete. But you know what? A title is a title. You got to, yeah. And I was disappointed in Rocky Fielding in that fight. Gio, your thoughts?
Good way to end the year for Canelo. He got a win over Triple G this year. Ends the year at Madison Square Garden. And we'll see what's up next for him next year. Not many opponents, like we said, that can really challenge him, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what happens with Canelo coming up for Cinco de Mayo, or May 4th in this case. But a lot of people are talking about whether or not Daniel Jacobs is going to be the fighter lined up for him to fight in May, or if we're going to see a trilogy with Triple G. I think a lot of people will favor to see Triple G fight instead of Daniel Jacobs.
So, guys, we have a comment. Victor Magana is asking, what do we think about the Wilder and Fury first fight?
Well, I was at the fight, ringside, got lucky, and honestly, you know, even when you're in an event watching a fight, you can feed off who's actually winning, depending on how the noise level is, who's actually winning. Obviously, Deontay Wilder.
And we all saw the same outcome, right?
Yeah.
We all saw the same outcome.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Tyson Fury took the energy off from the stadium. You had the crowd behind the back. We had like 10,000 people of English, British fans there. And Tyson Fury clearly won in my point of view. Even if you had like 2 knockdowns, doesn't mean anything because Tyson Fury was outboxing.
What's
Deontay
happening,
Wilder.
guys?
Yeah. And so we have Sean Fitzgerald from Beat the Count joining us right now. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great.
How you liking the fights so far?
I think they're fantastic. It's been a long day of fights.
Right.
A long day of fights.
What was your favorite fight so far?
On this card?
Yeah.
I think that last one was really competitive. You know, I actually love that about 4-round fights. Because all these cards have been 4-round fights,
Yeah.
the guys don't have a lot of time to turn it on. You know what I mean? So they turn it on from the first round going on, so a lot of action all night long.
Yeah.
All night long. I think it's great.
Yeah. The Sanchez de Leon fight, I was able to just soak it all in because Leo was keeping my seat warm, and man, that was a great fight. That was a great fight.
I saw you guys had Leo over here. Yeah.
You gotta bring him on your show. Beat the Count on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reach out
definitely.
to him, man.
Yeah, I would love to have Leo on the show. You guys are like close friends now. I seen that, so you can put in a good word for me, right? Yeah, definitely. Beat the Count Sundays on YouTube.
Let me ask you, what's your biggest?
But if it were not a problem for him, you could argue that his height and size perhaps would be advantageous at this weight, right?
And we saw that with Jaime Munguia, right? Where
Absolutely.
he clearly destroyed somebody at 154 when he has no business being there, but. You know, it's crazy.
I call it the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. effect. Remember when he used to fight at 160 but would weigh in at 185 after he rehydrated?
That's being nice when you say 185.
What's that? Yeah, it's being generous. But the truth is he's not a superior boxer or technician to say someone like Andy Lee. It was just that the punches didn't have the same effect on someone at that size. But I think it's sort of both of our points because, again, he was effective at that weight because of the fact that he was shedding so much, right? It's becoming more and more dangerous, though. Very recently, we've seen a number of fighters, including David Lemieux, most recently. Very had struggles. I would be surprised if Golden Boy decided to book him again at that weight, given that I believe he's missed now weight several times at 160, and this last time, obviously, being hospitalized or collapsing.
He's going to start fighting at 168.
He must, yeah.
And speaking of hospital, I want to give a special shout out to Adonis Stevenson for finally waking up. So glad that he's woken up from that coma.
Good point. Best wishes to Adonis Stevenson.
That's one of the things you mentioned when the broadcast started, right? Because it's the holiday season. You know, these guys want to go home with their families and celebrate the holidays. You know, of course, you want to see great fights, but first and foremost is the health of these boxers.
Yeah, these fighters, they put their health on the line, dedicate a lot of times. It's a combat sport. Of course, it's entertaining, but you look at something like Adonis Stevenson, I think the thing that's peculiar is it didn't look worse than a lot of knockouts that we see, I think, in boxing.
I think part of it just came down to, like, he was already fatigued and tired during the fight already. And he had already his hands down throughout that round.
Yeah.
And he just got caught during that time when he was fatigued and tired. You could see his mouth coughing up a lot of air.
Definitely.
He was tired, huffing and puffing. And
you see a lot of devastating KOs, you know. Paul Williams comes to mind against Sergio Martinez.
Yeah.
Or even Manny Pacquiao when he was laid out against Juan Manuel Marquez. I would say it was in the same vein, but obviously the level or the extent of damage was very different. So glad to hear that he's doing better.
Yeah, just glad he's alive.
Absolutely.
And Martin clearly just needs to just throw jabs. Clearly has a long reach, especially the legs too.
Not a lot of action compared to the other fights.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing.
Saldana kind of in and out, one at a time. Coming away at angles. We saw just a moment ago he dipped his head down, took an angle.
One thing about Martin is that he really protects himself with that left elbow. Like, puts it out a little bit. Stay away.
With that jab, essentially.
If he sticks that broom out, he can just win this.
Exactly.
4 rounds. Really.
Said, we got a comment, seriously, Mora is awful, and so is Chris Mannix. Well, I will say some of Mora's team has been here tonight.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I said during our podcast on Thursday. I didn't really enjoy that staff, besides Sugar Ray Leonard and Anthony Joshua being there this past weekend on the Canelo fight.
Yep.
Did you enjoy the fight?
Which one?
The Canelo fight.
I enjoyed the Taylor fight.
I enjoyed the Ryan Garcia fight.
I think in both cases, both men looked very impressive. Canelo obviously looked very impressive. Ryan looked very impressive. And
Katie
I think
Taylor, that's who I mean. She's
Katie
from
Taylor?
Ireland. She's a monster.
Katie Taylor's amazing to watch, isn't she? She's highly entertaining.
She's crazy.
Highly entertaining. I love watching Katie Taylor fight. I was saying with Ryan Garcia and with Canelo, both men look tremendous, and obviously you have to give them some credit, but I also credit their opponents for how well they looked in those fights, which is to say that I feel that both men were overmatched, their opponents.
They know what they were doing, Golden Boy.
Yeah, Ryan's opponent was interesting.
Yes.
There's a lot of taunting going on, a lot of low blows.
Is anything worse than a guy who's taunting while he's getting basically handled? Yeah, losing every round, taunting.
Yeah. Right.
Now we have round 3 here. Like we said, not a lot of action, but Saldana seems like he's in control.
The only reason why you say there's not a lot of action is because a lot of people are just throwing jabs instead of power punches.
Yeah, I would say most of this fight has been controlled by the jab at this point.
Right.
He's using the range, stepping back. So you could see there, he threw the jab, took a step back.
And part of the reason why this fight may not be as action-packed and entertaining is because Saldana is making it a jab fest instead of going inside and try to do a favor for Lozano to fight inside the ring.
And Lozano's leading with that jab as well.
Good right hand there. I wouldn't go so far as to describe the fight as not entertaining, but perhaps maybe not the same level of action that we've seen in some of the other fights.
Well, I'm saying that because when people watch Andre Ward, they'll start saying that. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just trying to be consistent like that.
But doesn't that make a trainer happy if you're fighting Saldana's fight? You're not taking any punishment.
Yeah, I mean,
you're throwing your jab out there.
Yeah, that's what I say, right?
Yeah.
You know, like you don't want to, like, even if you're going to win the fight, you don't want to get cut because that could affect your next fight.
Yep. At some point, for star power's sake, it is important for young fighters to actually put something else on the table.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in this last fight, Perez. You know, he didn't get the knockout.
Exactly.
Right? Which it looked like he could have.
I think we were saying that same thing. Yeah. At the start of the 4th round, I had said that was a focus and finish round, and it's a round for a young fighter like him where once he's hurt his opponent multiple times, you want to see him put him away. Now, I would say this is a little bit different as we haven't really seen him hurt him. He's controlling.
The thing is, like, Perez, usually when you see a boxer coming up, they get their knockouts in their early stages, right?
Yes.
Because there's always styles makes fights and mismatching. But in the case with Perez, long towards the lines, when he looks at these fights, it might mentally drain him, like, hey, I should have knocked him out, or is it because I don't have the power punch to knock out an opponent? So that takes a huge role. And same thing with Martin right now. You're supposed to be, like, what are you, 7-0? How many knockouts?
7-0. I'm not sure how many knockouts he has.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no knockouts. But, you know, he's doing a fine game. Just see win the fight.
Very low there, Lozano.
I think sometimes what's perceived as mismatches, or you could call, for instance, the last fight a mismatch, and people may do that looking at the build of Perez's opponent or perhaps the height disadvantage. But what he's really facing is someone with a tremendous amount of experience and someone with a track record of power.
And we're just talking about that with Leo Santa Cruz as well, because sometimes your record doesn't reflect your fighting ability.
True.
Right? A lot of times when you're a young fighter, it depends who did you really fight against when you were coming up, right?
Hit and don't get hit. That's what Anthony Saldana says. First time I've heard that, Stax.
And that's what Tyson Fury was thinking too, right?
It worked for him for 10 of the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the draw, by the way?
About what?
The draw. The Tyson Fury Wilder draw.
I was telling, well, I was there at the fight, and the thing is, Tyson Fury did a good job taking away the energy from that stadium. I remember when I was watching Triple G versus Canelo, the first one, I saw it at the movie theater. Probably 90% maximum capacity was Canelo fans. All of them were quiet. All of them were quiet because Triple G took out the energy, something that Canelo fans are not used to seeing Triple G get outboxed or get outsmart like that. Same thing with what Tyson Fury did. Took the energy from that stadium and made it into his own. And it always helps when you have 10,000 English, British fans in your table. But he outboxed Tyson, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I mean, I think the draw was best case scenario for Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get outboxed 10 out of 12 rounds, like you said, you got to be happy with that draw.
If anything that we can take away with Deontay Wilder this year is that he's been exposed by both Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury because they're both technical fighters.
Well, I mean, we already know that, right?
Yeah.
That's not a secret.
But he got exposed pay-per-view wise.
Yeah, now everybody got a chance to see it.
This is one of the things that I have a challenge with because you could say that he was exposed in the sense that he was outboxed, but I also think that most of the people at this table would have expected him to be outboxed by those two opponents, and the truth is he still knocked out Luis Ortiz, so he won the fight. So, yes, he has a tendency to get outboxed by people with greater sort of craft, but his game plan doesn't seem to be to outcraft those individuals.
Because the heavyweight, the only thing you could think about the heavyweight division is you having one punch and knockouts. That's all we want for the heavyweight division. We don't want somebody to run around, outbox somebody. In this case, Klitschko, right? Sure. We got tired of that.
Yeah, but it's impressive for a guy of Tyson Fury's size to be able to move around like that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about 6'9", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
We're in the fourth round of the main event here at Commerce Casino. And Saldana has been putting on a jabbing clinic. That's essentially how I would describe it.
Yeah, Lozano hasn't returned very much.
Yeah, Lozano needs to make this into a dirty fight. He needs to go inside, take away that jab. And I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure how much of a power threat that jab is from Martin.
Yeah, and this is the last round, so you would think that Lozano would need something big.
I would say that in his position, you would expect to step up the pressure, right? So you need to be really aggressively pursuing a knockout at this point. If your corner is up to speed, which I imagine they are.
See Lozano dropping his hands a little bit.
Martin Jimenez asked, do we think that Jerry Perez can defeat Ryan Garcia? What do you guys think on that one?
It's too early to tell.
Too early to tell, I think is the consensus at the time.
I think Ryan Garcia will beat him.
That was a fourth and final round of this fight between Martin Saldana and Carlos Lozano.
You know, one thing
tough fight to score, right?
Yeah, it is. Speaking of scoring, I do want to talk about this real quick because we were talking about Wilder and Fury.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's listening to us and watching us, I ended up approaching Alejandro Rochin at the...
I saw that. That's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. So if
Good
anybody wants to watch it, and you guys are furious and mad that a judge scored it to Wilder 115, 111, which is unfair, go watch that YouTube video. It's an Against the Ropes podcast, and there we made an approach to the judge who we clearly saw it a different way. And
Yeah, if you saw the fight 115, 111 for Wilder, you didn't really see the fight. You were probably on your phone texting or doing something else.
yeah, so we made sure that day that we had an agenda, and that's not to watch Jim Lampy and Max Kellerman and Roy Jones Jr.'s their last day. I get it, but we had an agenda that day to confront him that day. And you know, the thing is, and part of the reason why I wanted to confront him is because at the last boxing event, we had Abraham Lopez robbed by one of the judges.
Sure.
And the thing is, it's one thing to see it, but it's another thing is when you're in the locker room, seeing how demoralized it is. Because this is a young man, and his future just got threatened by a judge that clearly saw a different type of scoreline. So I took that into consideration and made sure to try to do that when I approached the judge. So, good times.
Based on the way that you approached the judge, I thought there was going to be another bout on that card that wasn't scheduled. I think you would take him.
I should have chased him.
Somehow they would have scored it for him.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right, here we go with Jim in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action, we go to our scorecards. We have our decision. All 3 judges ringside scored about 40 to 36. Our winner by unanimous.
I think no surprise there.
No surprise, man.
No
But we always
surprise
hope
there.
they get it right.
I know.
Martin Saldana improves his record to 8-0. Another win.
Hey, fight fans, a reminder, we still have one more bout coming your way.
Yeah, and the main event is coming Nathan Weston against Tavares Teague. Another 4-round fight that's going to be fought at 154 pounds. Just real quick,
Go ahead.
we want to send some shout-outs. We want to shout out Chicana Boxing. You can follow her at Chicana Boxing on Instagram, ChicanaBoxing.com. We want to shout out Anthony Sims Jr., the Magician. Check out our podcast. We did a couple interviews with him. And we want to shout out Beat the Count. Mr. Sean, he's here with us. Shout out to Beat the Count.
Thank you so
Boxing
much.
Podcast. They
I
do a
appreciate
great job
you
there
guys.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and next time, if you're around, we'll bring you on again.
I'd love to be on anytime.
Yeah, you have any final words for the people listening this holiday season?
Just that I expect 2019 to be a great year for boxing. I appreciate being here at the All-Star Cards. You guys have a lot of entertaining fights. You guys do an excellent job with the podcast and the commentary. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you. This is the best Christmas gift that an enthusiast like myself could have ever asked for, and I appreciate you, gentlemen.
Hope to have you back, man. Seriously.
I'm glad to be back.
Seriously.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, fight fans, in attendance this evening, Chris Fitzgerald of Beat the Count podcast with Coach and Chris. You can find him on Facebook and Instagram. They are live every Sunday for your boxing interviews and info on upcoming shows. Don't miss Beat the Count podcast. You make sure and subscribe to that account so you don't miss any of those podcasts. That's Beat the Count podcast with Chris and Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, we just had Sean with us. Beat the Count. Check them out on YouTube. They do a great boxing podcast every Sunday. You know, he joined us. We had the pleasure of having Leo Santa Cruz earlier with us as well. And now we're going to have this last fight between Nathan Weston and Tavares Teague. Chris.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.